pour me low. With their heavy hands and bitter words, they thought they'd steal my show. But I was born in thunder, pain and fire deep inside. Rise back up, a stronger man, no matter how many times they tried. Unbreakable, unshakable, unbreakable, unshakable.
Jerry, they're finally back. Sorry, I'm a little late. It's all my fault. It's not Nan Gallagher's fault. It's my fault. I slept. I took a nap after the jury verdict. I was like, I said the jury. After the judge's verdict, a one-man jury. After the one-man jury verdict, after today's judge's verdict, I laid down on the couch and I was out. I was out for like 2 hours. I was exhausted. Last night was a very late night, hard to sleep. Getting ready for this Kelsey Fitzsimmons today, streaming all day, not knowing what's going to happen. God damn. It feels good. It feels good to see her walk out of there a free lady today. Lot of celebrations. A lot of celebrations. Yeah, it's a purple day. A purple day. Thank you so much, everybody. All the chatters, all the people who have been supporting us. Supporting me, especially. I want to thank you so much. I'm almost speechless. I don't even know what to say, but I've got a great guest. Attorney Nan Gallagher is here, and I'm sure she has a lot to say about what went down in court today, yesterday, the last couple of days. She's been watching. Yeah, I hope Kelsey is celebrating today. I'm pretty sure her and her family are celebrating. I'm happy for her family too, for her dad, Steve, and the mom, and the stepdad. They must feel good. It's over. It's over for them. Now they just have to go to family court, and we'll see what happens there. We'll be there as well, covering that. Let's bring up our guest. We have an attorney who I always enjoy having on the show. She's a great guest, great commentary. Attorney Nan Gallagher, welcome back to the Young Jerks tonight. How you doing?
I'm great, Mike. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty damn better now. I'm feeling good about the show the last couple weeks, and you kicked it off. You were one of like the big guests that we had that really got us rolling, and we've been rolling along ever since. It's just and then with Maureen, I was a little freaking out for Maureen, and it worked out, and Maureen seems happy, so I'm happy, and it's like,
great?
wow, thank God it's over. It's like, Jesus, it was a short trial, but it seemed like it lasted a while in terms of the stress and the whole drama of this Kelsey Fitzsimmons situation, and it's good that it's over today.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to congratulate you for your notoriety in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial. That's wonderful. That my only commentary would be, I wish she said the Young Jerks, but that's fantastic.
I know. She said Mike Crawford several
Crawford.
times. That was perfect. And then they put up the Facebook post, the blurry Facebook post. It was not in high resolution, but the thing you could see was Mike Crawford. It was funny. The only thing, like you said, would have been better if they said the Young Jerks, and if they said weekly guest on the Grace Curley Show, Howie Car Radio Network. That would have been nice too. But
I love
beyond
it.
that, I think I owe Gubatosi, whatever his name is. I think I owe him some cheese. I'm thinking about buying him like a gift, like a cheese board or something, a box of cheese or something, because he hooked me up.
But you know what though? I think Maureen and besides, I know we're kind of making light of the fact that you were mentioned, and I loved the little video vignette that you were playing this morning. But I think the broader takeaway from Maureen's testimony, and not really the substantive piece of it, but the overall takeaway for me was that there are viewers out there in the local community who feel like they can approach local independent media and say, hey, I had a conversation with one of the cops involved. This is crazy because we feel, and I'm from afar, but we feel like we can approach and say, hey, what's going on here? We can't call, Boston 25 or whatever the big channels are up there. So Maureen, I see someone put she's achieved GOAT status, and I would agree. But I think it was while it wasn't the linchpin in the trial, even Bradel was interviewed after the fact. I think Jay Brill captured that interview, and he said, she came forward, and her testimony had value because it shows some level of bias, or at least maybe some improper commentary that was made by Noonan after the fact. Frankly, though, because it was a bench trial, this judge was extremely relaxed in terms of what he allowed into evidence, because a lot of what Maureen testified to and a lot of the other witnesses who were permitted to testify and provide hearsay evidence, the judge really loosely applied hearsay rules and kind of encapsulated everything under state of mind, the state of mind exception to hearsay, which permits it into evidence. And I was happy to see that because sometimes the little buzzings of hearsay are what can move the needle on a case.
It's different because it was just him and not a jury. You wonder
Mm-hmm.
what would have actually been allowed if it had been a jury. But yeah, I'm just happy for Maureen, and I feel
Yeah.
like there is a little bit of a kind of a heavy responsibility. You don't realize it's something you want as a YouTuber or journalist, to have people trust you and come to you. But at the same time, there's like I'm a one man show. Like there's so many times people hit me up on stories and to cover their worst moments a lot of times, and it's like I want to help, but a lot of times I can't because there's just too much other stuff going on, or I'm not sure how I'm going to look at this, how I'm going to approach it. And it's nice when it turns out good, like this one did. But
But also,
you
Mike,
can't
you
always help. You can't always help. You wish you could, but it's like, go
But
ahead.
you
Sorry.
also could have taken what Maureen told you, and I don't know the circumstances under which she approached you or what she said in terms of don't say anything, but you could have taken it and started dropping hints on your channel, or even said on your channel legally without defaming anyone, hey, I was approached by someone and she said this, because you're not confined by hearsay on your channel, but you didn't do that. And that shows me that you were more interested in making sure that valuable evidence that may have had a little impact, not only on the outcome, but on how Timothy Bradel viewed the case, getting that information in the right hands and let the lawyer, or lawyers, if you include Coakley, really evaluate it and see if it was important enough to bring forward. And I'm very happy that you did it that way. And boy, are there people who don't like all the attention you're getting. And congrats on the Afro Man interview as well. It was fantastic.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think the big thing on Maureen and just approaching me, my whole approach was like, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's always when people approach you, you kind of want to see where they're at and what they want to do with it, and if they want to say anything, and are they aware of the repercussions that might come their way. That's what I was really worried about mostly. Um, and Maureen was strong. She was just like, yeah, I want to talk to Tim Bradle. That's who I want to go. I
Yeah.
want to go to Tim Bradle. I'm like, I have we can do that. Let's do that. Like, let's. And so it was hard. It was hard not to say something, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not facing charges. You know what I mean? Kelsey Fitzsimmons is, and if I can help at all, and I wasn't sure if it would be helpful, and it doesn't seem like it even really did move the needle on the judge, but at the
Right.
same time, it helped Maureen. Like Maureen, I think would have felt badly. Imagine if Maureen never testified and Kelsey was found guilty. Then Maureen would have felt really horrible. Like maybe I should have said something. So that's
Yep.
really for me what it was about, was to kind of just try to support Maureen in it as much as I could throughout the whole thing. And once Bradel quoted Maureen to Noonan, I thought it was over. I was like, I didn't think Maureen would be called as a witness, because I'm like, they got enough. He said it's possible. He said it's possible. That should be enough for whatever points they're trying to make here. And then I was surprised that they brought her out as like the first witness on the defense. Um, do you think that was surprising? Do you think that was like
Yes.
yeah? Do you think he kind of
Yes.
threw down? Do you think because it seemed like Bradel at the end was like, you know what? We're gonna bring up Kelsey. We're gonna bring up Maureen. We're bringing out all of our. We're not gonna kind of just take what we have here and call it a day. We're going all out.
Yes, I do think it was a throwdown. He was ready, and I also want to make sure that you and your audience, a lot of whom supported Karen Reed in her fight and continue to do so, let's juxtapose this for a moment against some of the testimony that came forth in Karen Reed's cases actually. Because if you recall, in her two criminal cases, Judge Bev really gate kept as to impeachment evidence and how it would come in, how you had to put the other side on notice of it beforehand and provide any documents that you intended to rely upon to impeach a witness or in any way to undermine their credibility. So in Karen's case, the other side already got a full briefing on what their witnesses were going to face in terms of credibility challenges. In this case, that is why Maureen was called as a witness. Maureen was called to just undermine Noonan's credibility. He had said he's the shooter. He had made the comment that he believed that Kelsey was a quote unquote whack job. That must be a very New England term, because we don't really say that on my planet very often, but I like it. I'm going to incorporate it into my everyday lexicon moving forward. But he
Sound like a
was,
mass cop, a cop from Massachusetts.
yeah, which is why when I come up there, I take rental cars, because I still don't want to get pulled over. I'm still afraid of getting pulled over by a Massachusetts cop in one of the local towns or Massachusetts State Police. But I can tell you that she was really brought in to just cast some question as to Noonan's credibility, which was one of two extremely important factors in this case in determining whether Kelsey was guilty or whether she was going to be found not guilty. It was his credibility, Noonan's, versus Kelsey's credibility. And we can talk about it tonight. And I don't want to bury the lead, because ultimately the judge decided that he actually found both witnesses, Kelsey and Noonan, credible in terms of their versions of events. Maybe there were some nuances there that he just didn't believe or didn't buy into, but he found them both to be credible. But when you apply the standard of reasonable doubt, if both witnesses, both primary witnesses, come off as credible, it by nature creates reasonable doubt. And when there is a question at all of a reasonable doubt of the elements of the crime, you must acquit the defendant. So Maureen, who was brought in to quote unquote impeach Noonan, well, I assume, I'm making an assumption, but I have every reason to believe that the prosecution really didn't get much in-depth information ahead of time, besides Bradel kind of bringing it up a little bit the day before, that in Noonan's cross-examination, or I think it was the day before. Yeah, I think it was. But
It
it's
was the
all a
day
blur.
before.
It's all a blur to
Yep.
me now. But he just got a glimpse of it. The Gooba, I can't even pronounce his last name.
Gubatosis. Gubata, I
Th-
don't even know.
That sounds like an
Just
illness my daughter just got over. The
I
Gooba,
call him the Gooba.
you
The
need
Gooba. I want to thank
antibiotics
the
for that.
Gooba. I gotta get him a cheese plate or something. Is there like
You
a cheese
should.
board I can get him? Yeah.
Well, yeah, they make, the state cheese boards that are carved out in the shape of the state, or maybe get him a Young Jerks cheese board. He'd love that. It's a nice touch. And I loved all the accolades and mentions that you got from some of the big law tubers. That's fantastic.
It was really cool.
Ubatosi.
I gotta say, Peter really did well. Yeah, lawyer,
I I love I love Peter. I don't know him personally, never communicated with him, but I really fell in love with Peter Tragos, Emily Baker, in and a little bit of Andrea Burkhart during the Depp v. Heard trial, and Runkle. That's where I encountered Runkle for the first time, just as a viewer. Actually, that was right around when I discovered that you could rely upon YouTube to like give you insights and stream trials and become a part of chats. They're fantastic. There's other ones out there too. I love Defense Diaries. There's a streamer with a channel called Law and Lumber. He was also prominent during the Depp v. Heard trial. And all of these law tubers that I've mentioned really know their stuff. Not all of them have criminal defense or criminal prosecution background, but they're extremely knowledgeable. Peter is very quick, very, if I need something efficient and I need to get the key information quickly, I watch him. If I want to laugh, I watch Emily Baker. Yeah.
else, and yeah, he's really sharp. I mean, he caught on. I was just watching his review of Maureen. He caught on to everything. He was just like on the mark, and I really appreciate him. As well as brother counsel was
Hmm.
he wanted a shout out. He was like, "Where's my shout out? Maybe Lauren Page, the next witness, will shout me out now that the young jurist got the shout out." I thought that was funny. And then,
I love
like you
that.
said, the legal the Bob Mata was like, "Young jur, it's young jur." He's like, "Bro,"
He's so
and,
chill.
yeah, and Runkle made me laugh. Runkle just he, he was like, "I love this lady. I love her." Like,
And
uh,
I didn't watch a lot of sorry, I'm glitching. I didn't watch a lot of Runkle's coverage of Kelsey Fitzsimmons, just a little bit. But he brings his firearm law experience to the table, which kind of became very pivotal in the deliberation of Kelsey's case. So while I didn't see Runkle's analysis, I like the fact that this was an opportunity for him to marry his legal experience, his particular specialty, and then you tie in the fact that he's shown an interest in some Massachusetts cases recently. I love it. He's so entertaining, extremely dry personality. So if anyone doesn't follow Runkle of the Bailey, you absolutely should.
so, I definitely like Runkle. He's funny. I guess he said some more. Like I only saw the beginning part, and someone said he said some more things later on in the show last night. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh yeah, you're a
But yeah,
celebrity.
yeah.
Boy, does it
It's
bother
not. It's
some
nice that
people.
they like. I feel like they like me. Like that's like wow, they actually know me and like me. Wow. Oh, who knew? Who knew?
Well, I mean, even though there's maybe people out there who tell people not to like you, real people know real people. And I loved when I
All
woke
that
up
for
this
me.
morning. I'm like, when does Mike sleep? Because you were on the JFK show.
I
Like
was.
I was up at 5, and I'm like, I look to see if JFK streamed, and then you know, that's like a 50-50 shot. But I wake up, I look to see if he streamed because when I go running, I like to listen. And I went running today, and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh my God, Mike, like when are you sleeping? I don't know how you do
I
it.
slept after the court trial today. I slept after
Oh,
the
okay.
verdict. Finally
Yeah,
slept.
folks,
That's
we're a
why we
little
were
late
late. That's
tonight.
why we were late. You were like at like 4:59. You were or no, well, actually you texted me at 5. I was still sleeping, and I was like at 5:28. I was like, oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't send you the link yet. I've been sleeping. Like,
That's okay. That's okay. It's a sign of satisfaction, you know? It when any trial lawyer, by the way, after really a win or a loss, we tend to sleep because there's so much anticipatory stress. You're up all hours of the day and night prepping, And for you, you're working like 3 jobs, and
I am.
you got a lot of four-legged clients who are demanding of you as well. And then the verdict comes down, you're streaming all the time. I'm not surprised you were taking a nap. But it
Y-
is Mike's fault, guys. I was on time tonight.
It was a busy week. And you know what? Tomorrow, I have nothing right now. I
Ooh,
don't think I
don't
have any
jinx
dog
yourself.
walks. I don't think I have any dog walk. Like, who knows? I could end up getting a last minute call, but I think tomorrow might be no streams, no dog walk. Well, actually, I'm doing the radio show. I'm doing Grace Curley, so I'll do Grace Curley, but that'll be easy. That'll be a telephone call. Maybe I'll go into the studio. Maybe I'll drive in. I don't know
Where?
to
Oh,
do
I
a
don't
big
want to.
Kelsey.
I was gonna ask where is their studio, but I don't know if that's
It's in the Boston area. Let's just
area.
put it that way. I think people
Nice.
know where it is, anyways. But it's a suburb of Boston.
Very nice.
I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I have on the schedule tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be like now what? I don't have 3 things going on tomorrow. It's gonna be
See, I
wow.
never say that. When I say that, then my calendar gets completely inundated. I jinx myself. So,
I
it's
know.
okay to take a day off every now and then.
I know. And then I feel guilty though. I'm like, what am I doing now? What's the next? What's next? I said that last week with Afro Man because his trial we covered his trial for it was only like 3 days, and then I was like, what's next? Oh well, Kelsey's next. And then
Yeah,
Kelsey came on. And it's like, now what's next? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna. This is the thing. You never. That's the thing about this YouTube game that we do. It's really a lot content dependent, and I think that's why a lot of drama kicks up because people. It's easy to go with the drama, I guess. Like I don't like to do the drama. It's not my thing, even though obviously I have been caught up in it over the last months. But it's not something I enjoy. It's not something I look to take advantage of. Let's put it that way. It's not my part of my game plan, that's for sure. But it's funny how we all go through feast of famine with this,
mm-hmm.
especially when we're covering trials and courts and things. You never know, like what the audience is gonna watch and want to watch. And it felt like the last 2 people were really into it, especially this Kelsey trial today. There was a lot of YouTubers streaming it. Everyone was streaming it, and it looked like a lot of people did good numbers. Like the numbers were good. I know our numbers are moving up again. We're getting a lot of super chats, a lot of members, a lot of
That's great.
new signups. All the subs are going up. So that was good. I mean, that's not really what it's all about, but it's good for the platforms. It's good for everybody. But that's the thing. Tomorrow, it'll be a day of rest. I'll do the radio show. We'll do the recap about what happened this week with Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and then I don't know. I don't know what's next, but we have Nan tonight, and
Yeah.
it's good to see you.
Yeah.
And
It's great to see you.
we are going to try to do more shows together. We were talking about that too, weren't we?
Oh,
Offline.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I'm actually working, I'm not ready to announce it yet, but I'm working on a little project, which I will be announcing soon. And no, guys, I'm not becoming a streamer, but you may be seeing more of me in the coming
Oh
months.
boy. Oh, the trolls are going to be worked up now. They're going to be
Yeah,
very
they do.
worked. I love
They
that you
do.
bring the heat too, and then I love that you bring the heat now. We don't even really acknowledge them. We don't feed them any, but
We
they're
don't.
here. They're all watching. They're all
Are
watching.
they are they
They're
all
sniffing.
here? Hi,
They're sniffing
guys.
around. Is Nan gonna say something? They're like little mice. They're like,
You know what's funny, Mike? It's like it just a I won't delve into the drama, but I will say this, like every now and then it's okay to, in my opinion, it's okay for a streamer to bark back.
oh
Every now and
yeah.
then you got to speak to some of the dramatic issues. But from what I've observed, and it affects me as well, this is my personal experience. If you don't address the drama, they still talk about you. If you address the drama, they still talk about you. They put mistruths out there. Sometimes it's worth speaking to it, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's worth letting time pass and then speaking about things, but you can call your own shots. But ultimately, what I believe is there's people who are putting their pedal to the metal, producing content, doing their very best to really put in the work, and then there's other people who just siphon off of drama and a case of the day, and they want to do is bash and say bad things about other people. They're not open to having a free community or competition. It has to be one way or the highway, and I just don't subscribe to that. I tried for a time in the latter part of 2025 to kind of try my best to support everyone or to stay neutral in some areas, and that was not sustainable. So I choose, and I think your audience chooses as well, to follow whom they want to follow, absorb the content they want to absorb, try to stay out of the drama to some degree. I personally like to see you bash some people every now and then, which is, fun to watch on occasion, and we move along. I'd be interested to know what you have next. I mean, you may even want to poll your audience. I don't know. But I look forward to the next thing you sink your teeth into. I'll still be an honorary jerk.
Sure. I mean, I know I have the state auditor coming on the show
Yeah,
in April, so we cover that stuff. But I mean, there's some other trials I have interest in, and I'm
that's
kind of
good.
interested in that Charlie Kirk trial, that Robinson guy. Like, that's in
Oh, yeah.
Utah. That's going to be an interesting one. So I don't know when that's
Yeah,
happening, but there's some things that there's always something that comes up. Like, and the good
always.
thing is I have guests. Like, I have different topics that we can cover, and I got a good guest list, a good group of people that we can, a lot of journalists. I'm gonna definitely have some more journalists back on the show. We're doing that slowly but surely, and maybe some, music man, music. I've
Oh,
done
that's near
quite a
and
few
dear to me.
musicians recently, and that's been fun. So
I love that. And it's nice because you have a variety. And I really have loved your guests. I love listening to them. And I was watching Todd last night, Todd McGee. If anyone hasn't seen it, they should definitely rewatch that, because Todd, retired Massachusetts state police officer, he's, as I said in the chat last night, he's not afraid to call balls and strikes on these key issues, even if it means impugning police officers in the process. So he's one of the best out there. I really adore him. I love opportunities to stream with him. So that's definitely a good stream to watch.
great shooter. I like Todd a lot. I'm
Oh,
glad he
yeah.
comes on the shows too. Like, he's just accessible, nice guy, has no airs. A lot of these, I have to say, some of the ex-cops that you meet, sometimes they get a little ego based. They get
Yep.
this law enforcement thing, and he has none of that. He is just the nicest, a grounded guy. And it's not surprising to me that he teaches boxing and stuff like that, because that shit grounds you. Like, I
Oh,
don't think people
absolutely.
recognize that when you can have all this bravado. You see it in me when I say, "Oh, I'll take on anybody," and all this shit. But like, the greatest wrestler in the world, Dan Gable, lost a match. Like,
Did
that's
you
the thing. When you're in wrestling and boxing and those types of sports, you have nobody else to blame when you lose, and eventually you're going to lose, no matter how good you are. There's always going to be somebody that's going to get the best of you one time.
did you
That humbles
happen to see that I read an article, I forget, I saw it on X. There's some type of push to change boxing in police training to jujitsu. Did you see that
Yes.
in the
Yes, I
wake of
did.
the Enrique Delgado Garcia tragedy? It's interesting, and I know there's things that Todd can't talk about with that case, but that's another one that I'm keeping tabs on. And, special shout out to Brian LTL, who's been with that case from the very beginning. And I wouldn't have known about it but for him. But one thing that really is notable to me is this overall feeling that I've sensed among some content creators, is that they feel that they own certain cases and certain headlines and certain defendants. And no one owns anyone. Everybody, I mean, if we're going to be proponents of the First Amendment and free speech and, the right to say what we want to say and earn a living, then nobody owns any particular case. No one should say, oh, Mike can't talk about Kelsey. He hasn't been at her hearings recently, or this person can't talk about that because it's mine. I brought this case forward. That is kindergartner behavior. You
It's
know what I
weirdo
mean?
stuff, especially with Kelsey and me. Because
Oh,
I guarantee you I spent more hours on the phone with her family than any of those jokers saying that. So, like, come on.
by the way, Mike, I've seen a few people in your chat ask if I shared my verdict from yesterday. So just, I don't know if you knew this, but I had written down before closing arguments where I thought the verdict was going to land. And I just kind of put it away and I said, let's see what happens. And I will tell your audience, I
Well,
thought
before
she
you
would.
tell me that,
Okay.
before you tell me that, because there's also the fact that you also said what I thought was 100% on point, and it came up in the verdict today from the judge. Because what you said earlier, the judge basically, the case came down to exactly what I've been saying the whole time. It's going to come down to two people. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
come down to these two cops. Which of the two cops does the judge believe? Does he believe Kelsey over Noonan, or does he believe Noonan over Kelsey? Or if he can't decide, then it's not guilty, right? Because
Yeah.
if you find them both credible, then it's
Yeah.
still not guilty, right? So, like that's why I felt like it was probably going to go not guilty. But you
Yeah.
said it. You said she's got to get on the stand. She has
Yes.
to get on. And I was like, really? You think she's good? Like that was the thing. I didn't know if they would actually put her on the stand. I didn't like. I was. That's a big risk.
Well, it's,
You said she had to do it, and you turned. It was right. Like she had to be on the stand. Like, can you talk about that and why you thought that,
yeah.
and why it turned out to be correct? Because you were correct on that. She needed to be on the stand. Because when we hear the judge say that, imagine if she hadn't gone on the stand.
Right. And I don't know when that show was. It was like 2 weeks ago or less that I was with you. And I
Yeah.
said she has to testify. And the reason being is because there really is no other corroborating evidence. She is the only person who could have brought forth any evidence, and that's in the form of her testimony as to what happened in that room. And I knew it, and I'm not unique. I know a lot of people thought this, but I knew at the time, like it's he said, she said, and with the elements of this crime, she's got to come forward. So I knew that, and I obviously she has a right to not testify on her own behalf. I'm happy that she did come forward. I'm actually I was a little surprised at how credible she came across. Like she's extremely articulate, very sympathetic. I obviously knew there were many issues involved that would make her sympathetic, but she came across as extremely believable to me. And I don't know how prepped she was by Bradle or Coakley or anyone associated with their team, but what she did not come across to me as was overly prepped. So it's extremely easy to tell the truth. And everything that was coming out of her mouth was extremely truthful to me. So when she did come forward and give that testimony, that's really all that had to happen. We didn't need Maureen. We didn't need Kelsey's mother. Of course, it was nice that they did testify and they added their own level of seasoning to the mix of the defense, which is great. But Kelsey's really unbridled way of telling her story, which is tragic, for someone to have to come forward and say, I felt that I was losing everything all at once. All of the things that you've discussed on your channel, um, all of that converging in really a matter of minutes, and the panic that a mother would feel knowing that their 4-month-old was being taken from them, and that likely her child's father and fiance had a hand in that and was present, whether she knew it or not. I do think that her coming forward, which was that necessary piece to tell her story, was the right thing to do, whether it was before a judge only at a bench trial, and this particular judge, or a jury. So yeah, I guess I was right, but I'm not alone. I don't, although I think I saw one law tuber, which I don't consider myself one, but I think I saw one law tuber who had said, and I won't name this person, but they had said, no, she doesn't have to testify. The burden is always on the prosecution. And that would have been a mistake in this case, because then Noonan's testimony and Houston's would have been unrebutted. And in the absence of body cam footage, that's a big risk, a really big risk to take. But I thought she did fantastic. And he found, Judge Karp found really both of them, Noonan and Kelsey, credible. And that's why he ruled the way he ruled. And yes, I had written my verdict down yesterday before closings. And I did predict that she would be acquitted. Not that that's extremely unusual, but I just did not, after her testimony, I did not find any reasonable way that this judge would be able to ignore the strength and potency of her testimony. Even in the face of maybe some things that didn't exactly measure up coming from her or from Noonan. And there were key elements from Noonan that I just don't think were possible. So yeah, I predicted she would be acquitted, but I will tell everyone a couple of weeks ago, I thought she was likely going to get convicted. I really did. I mean, don't wish that on her. I think that would have been the wrong result, but I had major concerns, and I'm happy that I changed my mind, which people are entitled to do.
Starting to feel that way too, I have to say. Like some of the stuff coming, just you
Yeah,
never know, especially when it went in front of a judge that you don't know and it's a guy and you're just like, geez, I don't know, and not knowing if they were going to put her on the stand, not knowing if she was going to be able to testify like she did. Once I saw her testify that yesterday, I was like, all right, well,
yeah, but
this is a very good chance if she's going to win this because a lot of guilty people don't go on the stand. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're crazy and they put themselves on the stand, but mostly
right.
you don't find a lot of guilty people on the stand, I would guess, right?
No, and there's an ethics rule that gets invoked as well because an attorney can't put a client on the stand if they know that the client is going to perjure themselves. So usually when you see a defendant who's guilty on the stand, the defendant has likely not told his attorney everything. I didn't do it. Like let's be hypothetical for one moment. Let's say that Kelsey hypothetically did point the weapon at Noonan and it went down as Noonan said it did. If that were the case, it is plausible that she would have stuck to that story and told Bradel that and Coakley that. And the attorney trusts, looks at the case, tries to evaluate it, trusts in their client, says, are you lying to me? Tell me everything so I can protect you. And then you put your client on the stand thinking that they're telling the truth. So very rarely do I think guilty defendants testify on their own behalf. And most times I think it's not even wise for a defendant to testify on their own behalf. There's a reason why that's a constitutional protection. But in this case, there was no other way because Noonan's testimony and his version of events, as heroically incredible and unbelievable as it was, it would have essentially gone unrebutted. And Bradel and Coakley didn't have anyone else who could have given any testimony. I mean, if there were surveillance cameras in that room, if there were body cams, which I was happy to see that the judge referenced today, that the absence of body cameras put this decision in his hands to determine credibility. The fact that there were no body cameras, boggles my mind. It's state of the art. There should be every jurisdiction should have them. I've heard you talk about it. I've heard LTL talk about it, JFK talk about it, where, these body cams are designed to not only protect the public, but to protect the police. So when you don't have body cameras to even rebut someone's version of events, or you have body cameras that were turned off, then you're in a position where the inference to me, if I were a juror, would be like, well, what really went on here? And the law says that all kind of favorable benefit of the doubt has to go to the defendant. And that burden always stays with the prosecution. It never shifts to the defendant. And in this case, Kelsey coming forward, having to confess something extremely personal to a courtroom full of people, to a judge who held her a part of her liberty in the palm of his hands, her future in the palm of his hands, to tell the world and all the news outfits something deeply personal to her. And it was really hard. It was hard to watch. And a lot of people were moved to tears and emotions watching it, but she saved herself. Kelsey saved herself by telling that story. And I'm really happy for her, and I hope that everything works out with the probate matter. And I have thoughts if you ever want to talk about them, about the possibility or viability of a civil rights action.
What do you think on that? Because we asked Todd about that last night. He didn't think there was much of a chance, especially against Noonan. What do you think? Because you're an attorney, your experience at this stuff.
Well, I have mixed feelings. So I file civil rights actions all the time. To me, not knowing more, I don't find this to be a very strong case for a civil rights action against either the North Andover police or Officer Noonan. I don't see a strong civil rights action. Not every time when charges are brought upon a defendant and a defendant is acquitted, not every time does that immediately correlate to, so now you can sue them. I mean, there is a process that if someone is arrested, or they're indicted, they're arrested, they are brought up on charges, they undergo a criminal trial, they are acquitted, but there was every reason to suspect that the charges were brought in good faith and that there was no shenanigans going on. And ultimately, a jury or a judge during a bench trial decided, no, there's not enough here. That doesn't always mean, yeah, you've got one heck of a civil rights action. So I don't think it's a strong civil rights claim. With that said, there are some things that bother me about this case. The failure to follow some protocols, the allowing of Justin in the residence, the failure, the lack of body cameras, the failure to follow specific protocols when entering the home and securing the weapons. But the fact that Kelsey made a decision to self-delete, that is a huge factor for someone like me who would be taking that case on a contingent fee. That would lead me to think a civil jury might say, but hey, I understand she was acquitted of this charge, and I understand she was not ever brought up. There was a no bill on the higher charge, but she did pull a weapon out for whatever intent she pulled it out. And some of the aftermath of that may have been due to her own conduct. So I don't think it's a strong civil rights claim. I know that's a lot of word salad, but I just don't see it. I'm happy to be convinced otherwise.
Which seems like she has a much more stronger basis because of just Proctor's text, for instance, and maybe like the Sally Port video situation,
Yes.
inverted, things like that. She has much more of a.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
which I always take an opportunity to say that with respect to Karen Reed, she needs all of the help and support that she can get. And I strongly, strongly emphasize the importance of her civil actions that are pending, the three of them. That is how answers are going to be found. That is how real inconsistencies in testimony are going to come forward. And it's the civil action that will help really truly vindicate her, because although she was acquitted, there's so many answers that are still out there as to what happened. And that is how, in my view, there will ultimately be justice for Officer John O'Keefe. But in Kelsey's case, I'd need someone to convince me a little bit more. I just don't see it. Now, what I can tell you is that doesn't mean she won't try to. So whether she does sue, and there were times during her Kelsey's criminal trial where I saw Bradel trying to get certain evidence in that would bolster a future civil rights claim. So he wanted to talk about, like, how has this affected you? Tell me about your damages, your pain, your suffering. How did you feel after you were shot? Something like that. And there was an objection, and it was it was the proper objection from the Gooba, and ultimately the judge said, "Yeah, I don't need to hear this. This is all after the fact." So what Bradel, I think, was trying to do was either to invoke sympathy from the judge, or to just lay a little bit of a foundation for a civil rights claim in the future, whether he would file it or someone else. But many times, even though it's not a strong civil rights action, I have sent a notice of tort claim to public entities like police departments and the like, the state of Massachusetts, whatever the public entity is. And then I send a demand letter and I say, this is what happened. These were the missteps. This is what should have been done. It wasn't done. This resulted in my client getting shot, and this is what happened. And many times those will settle. So even though I don't think she has a really strong civil rights action ahead of her, and again, always happy to be proven wrong or convinced otherwise, because there may be many legal scholars who disagree with me, and that's fine. Lawyers can see things differently. I will say, if I represented her, I would try very hard to get her a settlement. I mean, she had to sell her home. She is going to face employability issues moving forward. She has spent months and months without her son. She's still in the throes of that. Now, that's a little different. That's a Justin issue versus a police issue. But somewhere in the mix there is probably a good settlement that would come her way.
So she could get something.
Yeah, I mean, a good attorney would help her do that. I hope, Kelsey, if you're watching this, talk to the right attorneys to help guide you through the gauntlet of civil action. Like I said, it's not always a slam dunk just because you're acquitted. You can't do that. Many defendants are acquitted all the time. If there was a corollary civil rights action that came out of every acquittal, every state would be bankrupted. But in your case, I do see strong viability for a settlement, at least, that can help, maybe not completely, but at least a little bit, make you whole again.
I love it. Last night you were in the chat when Todd McGee was here,
Yeah.
the retired Mass State police officer. Guess who's here in the chat tonight?
Who?
I've never seen him in the chat before. Todd McGee is here. I
Hey,
think he's here for
Todd.
you, Nan. He's here for you. He says, hi, Nan and Mike. See, he put Nan first. He's a really smart man. He puts the ladies first, which is very appropriate. He said, hi, Nan and Mike. Nan, I agree. Not a good case for civil rights, but in a civil suit, maybe Kelsey could challenge the North Andover Police Department process for serving restraining orders. Do you think that would be a possibility there, Nan?
Yes, that's great, Todd. It's great to look at this. It's very reciprocal. I gave you love last night. You gave it back to me. We will talk soon and have steaks. Okay, I heard you mention steak last night, and I was all over that. I agree. I think Kelsey should absolutely challenge the manner in which restraining orders or are served, or this one was served. There were procedural missteps there, which contributed, maybe didn't cause, but definitely contributed to the escalation of this situation. And I heard you talking, Todd, last night about de-escalation, which, and we've talked about that before, my friend, like de-escalating some of these high intensity scenarios is so critical. And body cameras can de-escalate, conversation can de-escalate. And I truly believe, and I'm not giving Officer Noonan any leeway here, but I truly believe that the circumstances that he was presented with and that Kelsey was presented with on the day in question, all of it converged in a matter of seconds. There was no time for escalation or de-escalation. So I agree with you, though. I think she should absolutely challenge, at a minimum, the manner in which restraining orders were served, was served in this case, and moving forward. But I do think, I'm happy we agree. Like, I don't necessarily see a big civil rights action in her future. But, you know, there's a lot of lawyers out there who will try to sell litigants the sun, moon, and the stars. I'll get you millions of dollars. Come with me, the real ambulance chasers. I would tell anybody who is presented with those types of circumstances to just shop around. Don't always believe the person who says they're going to get you millions.
Shopping around is always good,
Yeah,
especially
you
for
have to.
attorneys. You
An
have to,
attorney, you
yeah.
should find an attorney in just unsolicited advice for your audience. Find a good attorney if you ever need one. Hope you never need one, but find a good attorney, but you have to find someone who you are comfortable communicating with. And if you need someone who's going to hold your hand, then find that kind of attorney. If you need someone who's going to give you tough love, go with that kind of attorney. If it's a matter of dollars and cents, try to find someone who can present the most reasonably priced services for you, or put you on a payment plan, or give you a flat fee, something like that. But don't always think you need the biggest and the best.
We have a couple other comments
Yeah.
here. Just Larry.
No,
Found
just
out he's a former legislator, by the way. We just took one from a former retired Massachusetts police. Now we have a former politician, just Larry, who I like a lot. He says, "I
Oh,
agree
I
with
see
Nan.
you on X. Yes,
Yeah, he's
Larry.
great. That it's not a traditionally strong. He's got a strong personality, just Larry. He says, I agree that it's not traditionally a strong civil case, but it could bring changes to policy and a likely settlement to avoid embarrassment, which we just said. So it's kind of right on the mark with what Todd was saying and what you were saying too. That it could get a settlement, it could change the policy, but not
Yeah.
expecting like a big civil rights lawsuit win, right?
Hey, Larry, I heard you were getting spoken about quite a bit last evening on a
Was he?
certain, oh yeah,
Is
on
he
a
getting some
certain,
crap?
oh yeah. I wasn't listening. I saw little
I
clips of
never
it.
listen.
But
I never watch.
if I heard correctly, are you an attorney, and you're an attorney, I think, and you're in New York. And if so, I'd love to chat with you. I'm
Oh
licensed in New
wow,
York as well.
that would be
But
great.
anyway, I do think this could bring changes to policy and a likely settlement. And that most of these do settle to avoid any type of embarrassment, and also to avoid disclosure. So if you have to disclose, if the public entity has to disclose a lot of different things, whether it's personnel records of some of the officers or some internal memoranda, etc., that may not have otherwise been discoverable in a criminal action. Civil actions can, not just civil rights actions, but civil litigation gets really, really detailed, and that's where the sausage is made. So I think this is at a minimum an opportunity to maybe try to make her whole again with a little settlement, and hopefully it'll set her back on the right track. And I truly do believe, having heard her, um and I mean, I don't know her, and I've heard her testimony, I heard her interview today, or at least one of them. I think this woman has had months now to really reflect on her experiences, and to think about the decisions she made under the circumstances, the high intensity circumstances she made them, and probably has a new lease on life right now. So if she can get a settlement that kind of puts her on the right path and has the right services that are available to her, whether they're mental health or any other psychological or physical health services that are out there, I hope she makes gets full access to them and avails herself to all of those opportunities. And thank you for your chat, Larry.
Who's an attorney I'd like to talk to too? Maybe, well,
If I
especially
heard it
especially
correctly.
if he wants to come on the show. Yeah, he seems like an interesting cat. I don't know if he wants to go there, especially if he's getting heat.
Oh,
I
he's
don't know
getting
anything
heat.
about it because I don't watch those shows. It's funny one of the YouTubers that I did watch for a minute just because I had to do a retraction about them. Like
So
when I watch
Mike,
his show about me, he was like, "I can't believe he's saying he doesn't watch us." It's like, no, I really don't watch you. Like I'm not lying. I don't watch you, bro. But they watch everything of mine. Like
I
that's
don't
the
watch
thing.
them
They're
either.
watching me every fucking night. It's funny.
Well, you know what's interesting? First of all, I now don't waste my time watching some other channels, but that's what X is for. So I'm
Yeah,
on X,
that's how I
and
see
there's
it.
people who clip these things, and I'm
That's
like,
it.
oh God.
That's the only way I see it. The little clips.
So I'm like, well, thank you. I didn't have to endure 3 hours of,
No, yeah, no.
megalomaniacs talking about themselves or talking shit about other people.
That's how I
But
know they're still talking about me. It's like sometimes they tweet about me, but mostly it's the little clips people send me. Like, oh my God, they're still talking about me. Like you said, I couldn't believe that they were so upset. That's the funniest shit of all. I think they miss me. Like
I
they
think
were
they do
so
too.
upset that I didn't go to court. It was like, really, you want to sit next to me? Is that it? Am I that special? Like you're missing me. You're missing me. Admit it. Like after they called me gross and called me cryfid, they miss me. They fucking miss me. It's weird. That's
They
obsession. That is obsession.
Well, it's like whether they miss you or not, they have nothing else to talk about. You know what I mean? I did see a note. I saw
I'm
a
glad
couple
they're talking
notes.
about me because it reminds people that they're like, even though I have less viewers than them, they're jealous. They're fucking jealous of me with less viewers. Like that's weird. That's fucking weird.
See, you know what's
Like
funny though, because I've learned a little bit about streaming from some people who have just given me information so I can help better give insight to them. And for all the people out there who say, "Oh, look how many people are watching this person," or "Look how many subscribers are watching that person," um, it's not only about that, from what I understand. From what I understand, it's also about how long are the people watching for. So you can have X number of people watching a stream, and it might be grossly outproportioned by another channel, but really, is the channel bringing new and unique people to watch? How long are they viewing for? Oh, I'm glitching again. How long are they viewing for? And honestly, I'm just gonna say it. Who gives a shit? I mean it.
nobody
Who
should care
gives a
except the
shit?
YouTuber themselves. Like that's the thing. Like if I'm not worried about it, why are you worried about my stuff?
Yeah, I
You know what I
agree.
mean? That's the weird thing. Like, I'm not worried about it. Like, my numbers are going back up again. Like you said, my watch time's moving up per
Yeah.
viewer. The quality of my viewers. That's the thing. When I had like 10,000 viewers, you get that critical mass, that mainstream audience. You get less per dollar per watcher because they're
Yep.
not worth as much. A lot of those people, like, let's be serious, a lot of those people aren't worth a lot. It's like
Oh,
National
I agree.
Enquirer. They may have a bigger audience than GQ, but GQ was selling higher magazine rates because the people that they get watching them are the rich ones, are the smart ones, are the intelligent ones, are the tastemakers, where National Enquirer may have a lot more people watching them, but it's not the right people. It's like that's why they get lower ad rates, and that's why like they sell them for a quarter where GQ would sell for like $50 or something. You know what I mean? Like it's a different audience, and I'm happy with my audience. Like that's the bottom line.
I
I'm
love
happy with
your
the
chat.
content, happy with the guest list. Like I don't
I
know. It's
know.
funny how they get caught up about numbers, and I'm not worried about it. I see my numbers. I'm doing fine. I'm not.
Yeah. I know people tend to say, "Oh, where was Nan all along?" And she was never in chats. I've always been in the chats since like whenever the Depp v. Heard trial came down. So was that 21 or 2022, something like that. But I will say I really enjoy being in your chat, in JFK's chat, in Brian LTL's chat. There's some others as well, Calling All Beings. I'm John Camo, Canton Chronicle. I love those chats, and if I'm missing any, it's because I'm tired. But I love those chats because um, it's a community. And I've said this before, like one of the words in community is unity. And one of the reasons why I, as a viewer, which I'm 99% of the time just a viewer, is I like to just be with like-minded people who respect one another. You can disagree, have different opinions. And I'm sure you would welcome anyone in your chat, even if they felt that, for example, Kelsey Fitzsimmons was guilty or something like that. If they were
I had
respectful,
LG. I had LG
yeah,
one in my chat all week, and she felt that way. I'm pretty sure, and we're friends. You know, like
right.
I have a lot of respect for her. I like her.
I
She's a nice
I feel
person. She
like
does
it's
great work with
just
dogs.
I feel like it's just a nice place to hang out. And then when I
Yeah.
say things like that, people say she has no life. This poor woman spends all of her day in chats doing nothing.
What?
But then
Meanwhile, what are they doing? What are they doing?
exactly.
Like,
So
come on. The ones who say that are the ones who are most terminally online of all. You're not
I
actually
agree.
online that much. It's funny.
You
They're
know what I
they're
do? I
clowns.
stream it in the background when
Yeah.
I'm working,
Yeah.
or if I'm not working, like just have an AirPod in and I'm just listening. But uh, most of the time when I'm listening to JFK with an AirPod in, and if it's not my morning run, and if he happens to humor me with like a daytime stream or an early evening stream, my son, who's 10, Blaze, he will often say to me, "Mom, you're listening to JFK," and I'm like, "How do you know that?" And he'll say, "Because you're dancing." I do
I love
love the
it.
music.
I dance with JFK too. I'm like,
Yeah, I saw you were
I love it.
dancing.
I dance a lot with him. You know what's funny too is the ones that say shit like that, like she has no life. They're the
Yep.
same ones that will get blocked. I'll block them on my YouTube, on my Twitter, but they're still watching every fucking show. They can't even comment. Like how much of a lame-o can you be? You got blocked from commenting, but you watch every show and you report back and you
Oh
clip
yeah,
them, and it's like that's an obsession.
it is.
Like, if
And
I got
some
blocked from somebody, if I'm not watching them anymore. Like, like it's just fucking hilarious. Like, they still watch. They're obsessed. I want to
they
thank them
are.
for being here. I love them all. I love all my trolls.
Oh, I saw it now. Larry says no, he's not. He's not an
The,
attorney.
the Mike Kryfit account like had a big day today. Like the last
Did
couple
he?
days, they're all excited. That account. They're
Oh
like,
my!
"Oh, it's my big day." They were happier than I was. I think, in a miserable way.
One of my parody accounts that got permanently suspended just created a new one.
Oh my
So, I
God.
mean, that's
Talk about
pathetic.
having no life.
I love talking shit with you. I really
Oh
do.
my God.
They
I
that
love
is
we
no
can vague
life.
post about them. Let's read a couple super chats.
Sure.
Here's one. Please pass the pepper says slow and steady, Mike. Keeps us humble. You're a good man, Mike. A great interviewer. F them. My head is like this now. It's almost like as big as Turtle Boys.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Like
you've arrived.
I
Hi,
got an ego
Pepper.
now, people. They said my name in court. Holy shit, I'm somebody now.
By the way, hi,
Um,
Pepper. I hope you're feeling well.
I'm still walking dogs. I'm still picking up poo every day, people. I love it. Well,
At
it's
least you
like
pick your poo up.
I do. Of course I do. That's what they pay me the big money for.
Some people like to talk the shit and not pick up the shit.
Some people are afraid to pick up the poo. I don't know. I don't mind. That's what they pay me for. DJ Calling All Beings is here. He says, "Is there anyone who can give me an amen for my brother, Mike Crawford?" It's Sister Nan Gallagher. I know how he does it.
Hey,
It's so funny.
DJ.
I
I
just did
loved
my
your
DJ impression. I don't know if it was good, DJ. You let me know.
I loved your stream last night. I did.
It
That was
was. He had
great.
a good one. What was he
Oh
doing
yeah,
last
he
night?
had Jay Boogie and Amy on with
Oh, he
Boston
did.
Bia. It was really good. I
I'll have
only
to check
caught
that out.
the latter part of it, but it was very good. Yeah, they were talking
Like
about
them. They're
like,
fun. I check them
yeah.
out on Spaces sometimes. Amy and Jay Boogie. He's funny.
I love Jay
He's
Boogie
he's a cool cat. He's like
and Amy,
I don't know if
yeah.
he smokes weed, but it sounds like he and I would smoke some weed together and have tell some stories. He's like wicked cool.
You should have him on the show.
I
I
know I
want
talked to him a while ago. I think we might end up doing a show. That's a good point. I'll write that down.
he
Jay
has a
Boogie.
yeah, he's I did not know this, but he has a love of baking and I want to hear more about that. So ask
Oh,
him
he likes
about
to
his
bake.
baking. Yeah. And
Oh,
not the kind
baking's
of
hot.
not the kind of baking but like
Like
real
cookies.
baking.
No, I
Yeah,
do some
cookies.
baking. I'm a big
Uh,
cook. I like gardening. I like cooking. Baking, I do some baking, but at the same time, baking is like it's not like my forte because you have to be like so on point
oh
accurate with
yeah.
the baking to get it right. Where like if I'm just cooking up some steaks or a meatloaf or whatever, I don't have to do the measurements. I don't like that. I just like to go. I like to go on. So baking is like a science. Like that's a so
I
I do like to bake some cookies. I gotta say, like I might do some brownies even tonight. I'm a big
like
food guy. I talk
like
about food all the
hot
time.
cookies or like real cookies.
No, the thing is, everyone assumes that. The thing is, the edibles don't do anything to me.
Oh
I don't know what
man.
it is. Like I'm like immune to edibles. Like I was at the High Times party with High Times, right? I used to hang out with them a lot. And we had the edible table full of edibles. And Tommy Chong was supposed to come that night, and he didn't. And I had already met Tommy Chong earlier, so that night. So like I was like, oh, I don't care if Tommy shows up or not tonight. And he ended up he got tired and didn't show up to the party, and people were freaked out. So like people started leaving, and I'm like, there's a whole edible table. I'm just gonna eat all the edibles. And I just sat there and I ate so many edibles, they're like, you're gonna die. And I'm like, I don't feel it. I don't feel edibles. I never have felt edibles. And I couldn't figure it out because if I smoke, I get the little, it's what I like.
Yeah,
I smoke or vape. I get the little bit of a high or whatever you call it. It gets, gets the medicine.
medicine.
When I do the edibles, that they don't work. And a few years ago, the Boston Globe wrote a story like why edibles actually don't work for some people. And it turns out that some people don't have the enzyme in their stomach to get activated, the cannabis in the stomach. So like I think that's what I have. Edibles have never worked for me. That's why like people give me edibles. I'm like, I don't want them. I give them away. Like, it's funny.
I yeah, I don't think I've never tried
You've never
edibles.
done any of it.
I
It's
didn't say
good.
any of it. I just
Oh.
edibles,
Oh, you never done.
edibles.
Well, see, edibles can. That's a thing too. To put a cautious note out there. Edibles can be the real problem for people because what happens a lot of times with the edibles is you'll have one, have two, and you'll be like, it's not doing anything. And then you have another, third, fourth, fifth. And then like an hour later, it kicks in and you're like, holy shit. Oh, I need water. I can't function. I gotta go get my stomach pumped. Like,
I know
because
someone
it
that
takes a
happened
while to
to.
hit you and it can make you paranoid. Some people get like my girlfriend. Like I used to have this chef, this guy used to cook these cookies every year for the Hemp Fest for us. I bring them home and be like, those are activated. Don't eat those because she doesn't like it and makes her paranoid. And the thing is, he's such a good baker that they taste so good. She's like,
So
oh,
you're
I
just
just want to have a nibble. They're so good. The next thing you know, she's fucking hiding under the covers. Like, I told you, what are you doing? She's like, but they were so good. I didn't think they could have weed in them because they tasted so good. I'm like, laughing.
I would be afraid to try edibles because I'm a relatively low weight, and
Yeah.
I would be afraid I'd end up on the floor.
Yeah, I
So,
would not. I would not suggest it. Some
yeah.
people it just whacks them out. And you know what? Like if you're gonna do it, just take a nibble and wait 2 hours. Like don't keep nibbling. Like and drink lots of water. That's the other thing. If you ever feel like you're ODing on weed or whatever, water is your answer. Drink
th-
water. Like
There
that
you
will
go.
drink lots of water and maybe take a shower.
It's edible advice from Nan and
Yeah.
Mike. There
I've
you
been
go.
around. I've been around. I love
But
that
yeah,
DJ calling of being was here. I
yeah,
tried to do his voice. Is there any Mike Crawford? It's just today. I love how he does that. It's so
I
funny.
do too. I
Some
do
people
too.
don't
I
like it.
miss
I
you.
love it. Oh, I was gonna say, I wonder if LTL will show up. He was working today. This is like see what I mean? We got the best people here. LTL Media says good work and great guests this week, Mike. You earned it. LTL, we love you. We love you. We support you, and thank you for being here, man.
Love you, Brian. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be on Brian's channel on Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing on Tuesday?
I will let him discuss that because I don't want to it's not I don't think it's a surprise, but that's his channel. I never want
Just
to
chill.
get ahead of it, but I'm looking forward to seeing him soon. I really admire his work, and he's you know, it's so funny. I used to watch a lot of different channels. Now I only watch a few, and I'm very loyal to the ones that I watch.
He's a
So,
hard worker. That's the other thing I don't think people recognize. He works it. He does a good job.
oh yeah. I think I mean, look, for all I know we've been talking a little shit tonight, Mike, but for all the people out there who criticize some of the creators and they say, "Oh, you didn't cover this or you didn't go there." You have jobs.
I know.
You have a job. You have
Imagine we have
two other
responsibilities
jobs
outside of
besides
YouTube.
streaming.
Yeah.
Brian has a career besides
Full
streaming.
time, a full
It
time
like,
gig.
and that's what sometimes I know you asked me to be on your channel earlier this week and I had work commitments.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I don't go on channels, even if I'm free on an evening when I've been asked, is because during the day, I wouldn't have had time to look at whatever it is I needed to
Everything.
look at so I could be prepared. Who wants me to come on and be like, I
Not
don't
know.
know. Right. So for some people this is I mean it's a side job, you know.
It is. It's
I'm
work. It's
very
work.
happy
You
to
have to do
say I
your
don't.
research. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a key.
And for me, like I continue to not make a dime off of this, and I'm very happy that I don't. But if I can support creators in their journeys to grow and to thrive, I will, because I believe in independent media. I believe in just the fact that I'm going to get more from a YouTuber in terms of substantive content and real raw opinions than I am from mainstream media that has some agenda that they're keeping or some budget that they have to stick to or that they're overly afraid of litigation. Now, you yourself had your own experience with litigation in the last year, but I will tell you, you're still a brave creator out there. You give your opinions, and you had a little bit of a hard lesson learned. You were vindicated, and it has made you stronger, and you keep going and you keep growing. So I'm really just always honored to be asked whenever you ask me to be on your show. Yeah,
Love having
big
your.
fan.
It's an honor to have you here. Rose had a question for you, Nan. Rose says, "What were your feelings about the ADA?" And this was a kind of like I didn't like it. I'll just say this right from the beginning. I didn't like when he did that today, and especially knowing that we're all streaming it on YouTube and
Mm.
like people are getting whacked on YouTube over this. It's like, what the hell's this guy doing? And there's a bunch of cops there too, like, and Kelsey's there. It's like, really? This is what you're doing, dude? I couldn't believe they did it on a personal level, actually. But I want to know what you think, Nana, as an attorney. Let me read the question again. What were your feelings about the ADA picking up that firearm and demonstrating his theory in open court? I'm still shaken by it.
So, Rose, I completely agree with you. Um, I was bothered by it. Now, I know I actually saw on X that someone had posted like an image of, I forget the attorney's name, for one of the attorneys for Alex Murdaugh back down in South Carolina, who like whipped out a rifle in court to do a demonstration. So it might have been I don't know if it was Jenna Rocco who posted it, but anyway, the point is, if an attorney is going to do any kind of demonstration ahead of time, they should be checking with the court if that's permissible. Then you throw in the fact that there's a firearm that's part of the demonstration, and I feel that that is, personally speaking, off-putting to me. Also, when you see him point at the weapon, I mean, I've heard enough stories. I've read enough articles where there's just been accidents involving firearms and accidental shootings and the like. Um, there was an actor who I used to like back in the, I guess it was the 80s or 90s, who
John
was,
Hexum, John Eric
yeah,
Hexum.
John Eric Hexum, was that his name?
Yeah,
He
I remember
was,
that.
and then there were
Big
more.
TV star. He was a big
The,
TV star. And
yeah,
then The
and there
Crow,
are
the guy
others
from The
who,
Crow. Yeah.
the guy
Bruce
from
Lee's
the
son or whatever. Yeah.
Brandon
Jason Lee.
Lee,
Brandon Lee, yeah.
something like that. So I get very nervous around guns, and I'm not judging anyone who has them or uses them, and certainly have a constitutional right to bear arms. But when an attorney gets up in court and starts pointing a weapon, using it as some type of demonstrative, I find that it's really off-putting. In addition to it, Rose, I don't know if you noticed, but somewhere in the mix of closing arguments or in the rebuttal, and frankly, in the judge's decision that was issued, there was some dispute over whether or not that prosecutor was accurate in terms of how a bullet, the only two ways that a bullet could get into the chamber of the weapon. So for him to be using a weapon as a demonstrative in court, which can be bothersome to some regardless, and then to try to give what is essentially tantamount to expert testimony as to how weapons work and the only way bullets can get into the chamber, I felt it was really improper for him to do that. And you can't do that. You need an expert. You need a firearms expert if you want to try to convince a judge that, for example, Kelsey was, quote, lying to the court. I thought that was also problematic for me. For the gooba to be saying to this judge, and she lied to you when she said she didn't know, I think it was how the bullet got into the chamber, or that she didn't do X, Y, or Z. Not necessarily. If he wanted to prove that point, he should have procured an expert, and certainly that type of testimony was not presented, so it's improper. So some of Bradle's objections after the closing statement of the prosecutor were proper. Some people criticize Bradle for not objecting at the time, meaning interrupting the closing argument to say objection. But I will give him a little grace. It's actually unusual to object during one's closing or opening statements, but because it was a bench trial, you have a little bit of latitude because the judge is the arbiter of facts and the law in this case. So it's okay if you wait till the end and raise objections. Which reminds me, Mike, I did want to mention, I have seen a lot of people patting themselves on the back on social media saying, see, I told you this should have been a bench trial. It was the right decision from the get-go. And I just want to go on the record and say that could have completely backfired. I stand by my opinion that I think this would have been better posited for a jury. Yes, I understand in retrospect, it's really easy to say, see, this judge did the right thing, and it was reasonable doubt because you had two credible versions of events. Sure, real easy to say that after the fact, but beforehand, when strategic decisions need to be made, before you even present your opening statement, you need to weigh the pros and the cons. Different lawyers can reach different conclusions. And by the way, different lawyers have different styles. I dare say Bradle probably does better at a bench trial than he does before a
I think he
jury.
does. And I think he's had success with those. He said that when he was on my show, when he was
Yeah,
talking about Turtle Boy trial. Like I asked him, jury trial, a bench trial, and he said, I
yeah,
don't know, but I've had a lot of success with bench trials. He actually said that. Like that was
right.
one of the things. I think that's one of the reasons I think they went for a bench trial is because he's had success with them.
And that's not a critique of him when I say, I think
That's
he
his
probably
style.
does
I mean,
better. That's his
and
style.
yeah, and he knows these judges, a lot of them, like this guy. Like that's the thing. I think a lot of the decisions he made were because he knew the style of this judge.
For
You know,
me, I like juries better.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, that's a
I
different style. You have a different style. You
it's
appeal.
different
I have a
style.
feeling you appeal to juries
Oop,
more, and
glitching.
he appeals to the judges more. I mean, that's it. Like, we all have our audience. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like, my audience is different than your audience, and who likes me is different than who likes you, and life experiences. And so,
right.
yeah,
And
that's
you
a
kind
great
of
point.
you think about these things and you say, okay, see there was absolutely reasonable doubt. There were two different versions of events. He said, she said. But no one knew before that decision to have a bench trial was made how well Kelsey would be on the stand at a minimum. And there were
That's
other
right.
nuances as well. She could have completely imploded
Totally.
under cross examination. And I dare say the Gooba was extremely
He was
light
trying.
on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he could have gone harder on her. I'm glad he didn't, but I think he missed opportunities. In fact, in your chat, Mike, if anyone wants to go back to her, to Kelsey's cross examination, I was in your chat and I was quite vocal about how he was making mistakes, the prosecutor, that is. So I felt that he was leaving opportunities on the table. He wasn't landing punches. He was opening doors uh, to further redirect that I thought would be very careless of an attorney conducting cross examination. So if you don't know ahead of time whether or not a decision for a bench trial is a smart decision, then you have to look at it and say, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Who's best posited to make this determination? I still feel it's a jury. That doesn't make me a bad lawyer, guys. It doesn't make me any
No,
better or
that's
worse.
just your viewpoint. It could
It's my
be,
view.
there's no wrong answer on that either, because we'll never
Right,
know. We'll never know what we'll never know what the jury would have
right.
been selected that sat there. Well, I mean, we didn't know what this judge was going to be like. There's a lot of variables here. But you were right that Kelsey testifying had to happen. That was the big thing. I posted this earlier. I wanted to speak on this quickly too, because as a broadcaster, what disappointed me most about this, and this is when I'm going to take the judge to task and the district attorney. You know that we're all streaming this. You know, NBC, Court TV, everybody's streaming this. We got no notification this guy was going to point this gun at
Yep,
somebody. Like that was fucking ridiculous. Like, we do trigger warnings here. Like, our
yep.
audience and us broadcasters should have had the option to turn that off to know that was coming. Like, if you had told me that that guy was going to wave this, I would have turned it off for the 5 seconds, because I don't want the heat from YouTube. Like, I know YouTubers right now who can't stream right now because this jackass DA, assistant DA, decided to do that
Oh,
without any
really?
trigger warning, without telling anyone, hey, I'm going to wave a gun around.
Yeah, I think it was
That
careless.
was that was shitty. Like, next time, judge and ADA, give us a warning. Let us know, especially when you know everyone in the world is watching this stuff.
I'm not sure the judge knew. That's the other
Yeah.
point I wanted to make to Rose.
Yeah, I don't think he
Bef
knew either. He should have raised
beforehand,
hell when that happened. Then, if he didn't know.
yeah, the attorneys should be, as a matter of professional courtesy, speaking to one another about whether they intend to use a particular demonstrative and seek leave of the court if necessary. I know I would have. I would have said something like, I'm plan on holding up the gun, using the gun, I'm confirming the gun is empty. Like, I would have done those things. I don't like that he did that, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. And at an absolute minimum, on a human level, it might have tremendously traumatized Kelsey.
Totally.
This
Or
is
even
a
Noonan too, and everybody else. That's
right,
that's the families that are watching it. Like, okay, Patrick Noonan's not supposed to be watching, but what about his family members? What about
right.
what about the other cops there? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I just, and all the people watching at home. Like, we should have been warned. We should have
I
been warned on
agree.
that. That was ridiculous.
I completely agree.
And like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. The courts want to hold us all accountable all the time. They're like, "Oh, make sure you turn this down. Don't do this." They yell at us all the time. But when they do something, they give us no warning.
Oh,
Like,
forget it.
that was shitty to put us all in that position. I have to say, I'm not happy about it.
It rubbed me the wrong way. And also, with when I was sitting in court, one or two of the times on the Karen Reed matter, the amount of oversight by the court officers was unbelievable. Like I couldn't whisper a little thing. I couldn't do a single thing. They were heavily policing it, but yet a prosecutor in Kelsey's case can wave a firearm around.
Right.
That's unbelievable. And I think it was just callous and thoughtless for him to do that. You know, I mean, I
And not warn
understand the
anyone.
big
And not warn
picture.
anyone. Yeah. I
He
mean,
he
that's
should have sought leave to do that.
you should have had some kind of warning. In this day and age, we call them trigger warnings. Like, there's a reason why
Yeah,
people say, I mean, and this guy's literally holding a trigger. I mean, that's the like you can't make it up. It's 2026, bro. Like, where you been? Like, you realize how many people are watching this at home? Um,
I agree.
there's been a lot of questions about this. I'm
Yeah.
thrilled they're bypassing Essex County and going with the FBI. That's the F around, or
What does that
Bradle.
mean,
I knew
Pepper?
was inside him. What do you think about that? Because there's been a lot of questions about the FBI has been contacted. That was mentioned. Do you think
Where was
anything's
that
going to come of that?
mentioned? Did I miss that? Where was that
I think it was
mentioned?
at the press conference. I think they mentioned. I know they mentioned it before, but I think today, I think it was mentioned at the press conference after. We could watch that too.
Oh, that they
But
were, I did not know that. But
About Justin taking the money and all of that, allegedly taking the money and breaking into her house. They
it,
contacted the FBI
look,
about it.
I deal with the FBI more often than I want to. And that's not to pat myself on the back. They're not going to give two shits about this case.
That's what I
They're not,
figured.
they're not going, I mean, that's my
It's not big enough
opinion.
for them.
It's not big enough for them. I actually am struggling. Look, you guys watched me learn firsthand for the first time something about the FBI on like I didn't hear that part of a press conference. But with that said, someone's going to have to twist my arm to make me fit this into federal jurisdiction and something neat and tidy for the FBI to give a shit about. I don't see it.
The only thing I think is the bank fraud aspect. If he did do what they alleged and took the money out of his out of her bank accounts, but it seems small still. Yeah, I
The
know. I
FBI's got
know.
bigger fish to
Exactly.
fry right now. I do. I feel that way. But
I
hey,
do too.
again, happy to be wrong. I mean, look, I think just in my opinion, not that of the channel, I think all of this could have been prevented if he had conducted himself differently. All
Oh,
of it. Whether it was the incident on June 30th, 2025, whether it was the deterioration of his romantic relationship, the breakdown in his nuclear family relationship, if there needed to have been some type of psychological or psychiatric hold for Kelsey, and I'm not saying that there needed to be, all of this could have been resolved without the tremendous hitting, what is that saying? You hit an ant with an anvil. He hit an ant with an anvil.
sledgehammer. Yeah, or hit
Yeah,
an
like
ant with a
a
sledgehammer.
sledgehammer on this. It didn't need to be this way. So if anyone, and I'm not saying there's criminal culpability in what I'm saying, but if anyone should be looked at closely, it should be him. Because on a human level, he has done more to harm his child, in my opinion, by depriving the child of those critical, irreplaceable first months of life with his mother. And I hope that there's a strong push in the future to try to remedy that. Because just getting acquitted in a criminal trial in court is is not enough. It doesn't completely make Kelsey whole again. And I hope that those precious opportunities and moments and memories lost are soon replaced by strong memories of regrowth and rebirth and, renewed opportunities with her son. I really do. But I think Justin's the root of all evil here. I just don't see an FBI angle to it.
Do you think the smartest next steps for her lawyers to take next would be? Wait,
That's a
what
good
true time is?
question. So I don't know the status of her probate matter. I don't know if your chat may know. Oh, yes, she has a hearing on April blank or
He
something
does have
like
a
that.
hearing coming up in
She
April. I know
does.
that. I don't know what the date is, but I'll
I
find out.
better
Yeah.
tune into the Young Jerks to find out when that is. Remind me to tune into the Young Jerks. But anyway, I would say focusing all attention at this point on the pending probate matter. Her acquittal at a criminal level will help her at the probate level, hopefully, to regain some level of custody, whether it's shared custody or supervised visits for a period of time. I want to preface this by saying to your audience, I am not a domestic or a family lawyer. I'm just giving insights based on what I learned over the years in that area of law and frankly what I learned in law school, which was way too long ago in that area of law. But I think focusing on turning this acquittal into a springboard of momentum to try to get custody of her son back. Hopefully that would be paramount at this time. And then also talking with attorneys to see if there's, while I don't see, as I said before, a strong civil rights action, I could be convinced otherwise, but to try to build for herself maybe an opportunity to send a demand letter and procure a settlement, some type of out of court settlement that will help reestablish her. And then also, if I were her and her team, I would make sure that she is properly psychologically coming down off of this. She's had notoriety lately. She's had anticipatory stress leading into that trial, leading into that verdict. And even though she was all smiles and forward looking today, she's going to go through a transition which could take different forms, whether it's a little bit of depression, a little bit of quiet time, a little bit of elatedness. She's going to go through a whole
Downs of
litany,
this whole thing.
the
There's got to
ups
be a
and
lot of
downs.
ups and downs, ups and downs. I mean, this is
So
even
making
for us,
sure,
just covering this has been kind of like a roller coaster. I can't imagine what it's like for her when she didn't even know if she was going to jail today. Like that,
and that's
that
why she needs to, take good care of herself. That way she can better take care of her son, you know? But as
definitely,
far
that's
as
got to
her
be the
lawyers
focus
are
of for her, taking care of herself. Everything else, the friends and all the rest of it, who cares? Just it's all about her and her kid and
right.
F Justin and worrying about him and his family and all that. He's out. There's some other questions here
What
too.
do you
This
got?
one, can she go after Justin for false allegations to get the original judge order to take the baby away? And I will say one thing today. I noticed with the verdict or even the closing statements, her family court attorney was there today.
Yes.
She's the attractive lady with the blonde hair. I don't know if people saw her. She's kind of closer
Mm-hmm.
to the camera angle. She was there today. She's phenomenal. She's a very good, skilled attorney, and I know that she's friendly with Tim Bradle and works along with Tim Bradle. But can she go after Justin for false allegations, or is that kind of just a wasted time at this point?
She can go after him for making and presenting false allegations to the original judge. I think that's there's a saying, tilting at windmills. It's like a waste of your time. That's a he said, she said as well. So unless there's some type of objective way of disproving the allegations, that there's an objective way, not a I disagree, it didn't happen this way because, like, she's got to show this was false because here. If she can't show objective ways that he provided false allegations to the original judge, she's wasting her time. I also dare say that so many times in my life and in the lives of my clients, I have come to realize sometimes it's better to just let water go under the bridge and to move forward instead of dwelling on the past. This is the bed that she is lying in now, proverbially, and it's probably best for her to relish in the fact that Justin is out of her life, and she's only going to have to deal with him as a co-parent moving forward. But I think focusing any attention on some type of retributive revenge against him, or means in which you try to undermine his credibility before a prior judge, I think it's a waste of her time and certainly her money.
Points. People are noting the attorney's name that I just mentioned. Julie Hess is her name. Julie Hess is amazing. Yeah, she's a good attorney.
That's
Definitely.
great.
I've
I love
I've already
that.
recommended her to somebody else, which is funny. Um,
I love that
yes,
she has a strong
I guess
team.
Kelsey said today she's going for a run with her dog. That's what she said she would be doing today. That's perfect. That's exactly what she should be doing. You
That
know, get
is, it's
back
good
into
for the
the
soul.
regular nature life. Hit those trails, Kelsey. Maybe come to my town. We'll go walk them together on the trails.
I saw you posted something recently where the dogs were walking you.
Oh yeah, those girls, they are. Oh boy, they get so excited, those two girls. But then I posted a second follow-up picture of them sitting. Once we get up the hill and they do their business, then they sit. They like,
Then they
give me the
sit.
treat. Give me the
My
treat.
dog
I'm ready for
walks
the treat.
me. My dog outweighs me and walks me
So it
nowadays.
depends on the
So
dog. Some dogs will walk you. Some dogs you gotta go. Come on, stop sniffing. Let's move. Let's get some action. It's funny. Every dog's different. Those two dogs that I said were walking me though, they're actually pretty easy. They're not like wicked pulley. They just have their pace and they like to go. They get excited.
I love
They're
that.
sweet girls. They're wicked sweet. They're big dogs, but they're like waggles. They're like, ooh. I
I
love
love
them.
that.
Yeah. They get so excited.
I want my
That
dog to meet your dogs.
oh totally. Right now I just have little Charlie here and who's the other one we have? We have Ringo. This
Ringo.
little Ringo boy, oh my God, he reminds me of my old Boo who passed away, one of our old dogs that we had as a pet. Ringo is staying. His owners are a couple doctors actually. They're on vacation, but Ringo is the cutest aloof little boy, and he sleeps on my pillow, and every night I come to bed, he's already on the pillow, and I'll come in and he'll
Aw.
go. He's like, because he doesn't want to move. And
Oh
then he
yeah.
gets up and moves, and then he kisses me. And then he lays he's like right next to me. He's like, oh, I love Ringo. Ringo's the
I
best.
love I love dogs. My
He
dog
gets mad
sleeps.
though. He's like, "Rrr." It's like, it's my pillow, bro. Get off my pillow. You're laying on my pillow.
I can't, no judgment, but I cannot sleep in the same bed with my dog. She'd probably crush me. But I have mine crated but not locked up. Like I have a crate in my room and she goes into her
Likes to
crate
go in there.
with the door open, and that's her comfy place. But
That's what
and
we do with
then
Charlie, actually. Little Charlie, he's little, but he prefers his crate and kennel. Like sometimes he'll get up on the bed with us, but it depends. Like in and Ringo too, he also has a bed that we have next to our bed, and sometimes halfway through the night he'll get down and go into his bed. It's like I said, every dog's different, and
every dog's different.
it's
Yeah.
fun. I love
I will
dogs.
be taking Roselle for a walk. My dog's name is Roselle. I will be taking her for a walk in a little while.
Oh, we won't keep you
Yeah.
too long then. I
Oh,
know
you're
you have
not.
to.
I'm good for now. Unless
Um,
you want to throw me off.
no, you've been going for a while, but I could go all night probably. I took a nap.
I know you're like regenerated, so
I
you're
am.
got a new lease on life.
Yeah.
I'm so happy though that Kelsey had, I guess, recently or previously reunited with her own dog. Like, was it
Yeah.
really true or not that the dog was part and parcel of this restraining
Well,
order?
that's what she said. She said they took
That's
her
what she
dog,
said,
and
and
that was.
I didn't understand
I
what
don't know how that
what they were
went.
getting at.
I don't know when it, I don't know all the details on that.
Yeah, they were kind of
I
they
mean,
were
she definitely
fighting
lost the
about that.
dog when she went to prison or jail or whatever we call it. Jail.
Yeah. But it's, sometimes dogs can be the best healers, you know what I mean? But I
Totally.
think there
Dogs
was
are
a
awesome.
dispute in it amongst counsel today as to whether or not the dog was part of the restraining order or in the form that's associated with or application for the restraining order. Either way, it's good she has her dog at a minimum. That dog will provide her with solace and comfort and, unconditional love, which everybody needs.
Exactly it.
Yeah.
Um, Someone said, I don't think Kelsey would want to be a cop again, but there are other options. I think she wants to be an attorney. I mean, that's what she said she was going back to law school. I have a
I
feeling
was
that's what she's probably going to do now,
I was
especially with her.
wondering
Yeah.
because she went for 3 semesters, so, you know,
Maybe she'll run for DA. I'll run her
maybe
political
that's
campaign.
how change is made,
I got some pull in Essex County. I could probably get her some endorsements.
I mean, and at
That
a
would be
minimum,
funny.
she may
Imagine if we
decide
have
she wants to
Kelsey
go
run
back
for
to law
Essex
school.
County DA. Yeah, that would be cool. Cool.
Let's get her through
Maybe I
law
can get
school
Seth
first
Moulton
and let her
to
pass the
endorse her.
bar.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we're
I
putting
love
too
it.
much pressure on her already.
Yeah, I mean,
So go
she'll
ahead.
do what she's ready for when she's ready for it. It's gonna take her some
Totally.
time. Am I lagging?
IMO says I'm glad. I love Nudin's neighbor mentioned Mike. I don't think she had a choice. I don't think it was her choice even to mention me. It just Gubatosi made it about me.
I love that you made the trial. I put it right up on X as other people did. I said you've entered the trial. That's awesome.
It was weird while I'm watching it live. I'm live streaming it while I'm on the like that was weird. I was like, because I didn't know
It
what was
was
gonna
weird.
happen. It was weird. I was like, holy shit, this could go really bad. Like especially when they put up my Facebook post, I'm thinking like, what did I post? Like, what if it's bad? What if it's like a bad post? But it was nothing. It was like what Bradle, like a Bradle press release about Kelsey Fitzsimmons. It was newsworthy.
Yeah, I feel like leading off with Maureen. Wait, let me ask you first. Am I
Yeah.
lagging? Is my
No, you're
internet
not
cutting out?
lagging.
Okay.
You're fine.
But leading off with Maureen, see, I'm glitching now.
You're
Leading
glitching. That's
off
it.
with Maureen, it was a shot across the bow. I mean, that was Bradel saying, we're not messing around here. So anything they could do to try to undermine Noonan's credibility, it was worth a shot. I think ultimately the judge never considered it.
True.
The judge
I mean,
probably
that
just kind of weighed both of the versions of Noonan and Fitzsimmons and said, "Oh, I kind of believe both." So, in the absence of some compelling one side outweighing the other, I got to acquit her. I don't feel this was a well prosecuted case, whether it was before a judge on a bench trial or a jury. I think the prosecutor, with all due respect to him, did not bring his A game. I thought that it was kind of mailing it in. He could have bolstered the case a little bit more and he could have prepped Noonan better. Because I don't feel that there was like a shredding of Noonan on cross-examination. And I don't mean any offense to Tim Bradel. I think Tim Bradel is a good attorney, but like there were really no huge aha moments. So I do think that had the prosecutor actually paid more attention to the case and focused more on strengthening Noonan's testimony, you could have had a different outcome here. I'm happy that that is not the case, though.
yeah, definitely. What do you think about this judge? There's
Hmm.
been a lot of talk about him. At first, I didn't trust him. I really didn't trust him, especially because of what I saw with McCarthy Naaman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think the public, I think that's actually where we had the biggest effect on this case by far. You know, there's been a
Yeah,
lot of
I'm.
talk. They try to bring Karen Reed into it. They try to bring me into it. But I think the McCarthy Naaman stuff, because when she did that audio, people went crazy, and then Bradel did his SJC appeal, and they booted her. If they hadn't booted her, I think it would have been a different trial. I think the public noise around that really did help Kelsey. I think that was really where the public noise made a difference more than even, like we said, like Maureen, which I think was helpful. But in the end, it was what I thought too. it's these two people. Everything else doesn't matter. I don't care about any of the other police officers, the family members, even Maureen, who I love. In the end, it was Noonan versus Kelsey. That's what mattered at this trial, and that's what the judge thought as well. Um, but how do you feel about this judge at this point? Because I feel like he was actually pretty good in the end.
Yeah, in before the trial, I had some concerns, just because he was not giving me the warm and fuzzies. Obviously, I'm pro Kelsey Fitzsimmons, so he wasn't giving me, as someone who's pro Kelsey Fitzsimmons, the warm and fuzzies. With that said, I thought he comported himself equitably and fairly during this bench trial. It's actually kind of challenging to put on a bench trial as a judge. You have to make sure that you're compartmentalizing what is fact, what are the conclusions of law, what are the rulings that I'm going to be making. I thought he was fair to both sides. As I mentioned at the top of your show, I thought that he was very lax in what he allowed into evidence in the form of hearsay, which I was happy about. And all in all, I thought that his level of attention, note taking, compassion that he expressed really to both sides, the compliments that he paid to both sides of attorneys, all of that together, mixed together, tells me I was very impressed with him. I also thought that he provided sound responses and rulings to objections made. I thought that he was very well prepared in addressing any evidentiary issues that arose. I thought that he was very well prepared in responding to the objections that Bradel presented following closing arguments. When, after the Guba gave his closing, Bradel raised his objections, and I thought that the judge aptly applied the law to the arguments that were raised and to the facts. So I am a pretty big fan of this judge. I thought he did excellent. And I would say that even if she was convicted, and I'm very happy that she was not.
So it must have felt good to get the ankle monitor off and all the probation and just knowing that you don't have to put up with any of that stuff. The court's not overseeing your life anymore.
Yeah, I think that for a lot of people, and I've had two clients over my career who've had ankle monitors, actually three. When the ankle monitors were removed, and these were three men, they were got very emotional. It was a very, very emotional thing for them. So I'm sure this is not only a literal piece of freedom for her, but a very cathartic, symbolic piece of freedom for her. And the not having to take the scram tests, if that's what they're called, any further. She's freed from probation. She doesn't have to undergo any type of alcohol monitoring. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if there's any particular confines that she's under vis-a-vis the probate court. I don't know. If your chat knows that, someone can let me know. But this is a complete liberation for her, which is why I go back to that's a lot of freedom to place upon someone all at once. And then there comes, as has happened in many of my clients' acquittals, um, the low, because suddenly you come down off of it. I think this is what happened to Karen Reed as well. That's my
Oh, totally.
suspicion. I don't know. But
I
you
think it
come
happened
to,
to a lot of us YouTubers too.
of
Like
course, that,
honestly, I mean,
right.
I mean, I can remember that day. I didn't even go to court, and I was like going crazy at my house. Like I was just like that high,
It's a
And
big
then
letdown in a weird way. I don't mean like, oh, I'm depressed, but it's like, ooh, what am I going to do now? And for someone like you know, I'm sure you and others are like, wow, I just put a lot of time, a lot of energy into advocating for whomever, insert Karen Reed, insert Kelsey Fitzsimmons, put any name in there, any cause. And then when it's over, there's a void. I
Like, what's
think,
next? What am I going to do next?
yeah, you mentioned last night with JFK and this evening, feast or famine. And I think that there's something very poetic about that term because it's very metaphorical, because there will be highs and lows, there will be peaks and troughs, but being consistent is always best. And
It
I'm going to
is.
go back to my saying, which has become a punchline on X in recent months, keep showing up because it does matter. And people will stay with you who just enjoy the variety of comments and content. And that's the type of audience that you should be keeping, in my opinion.
I agree. And you know, if you keep showing up too, someone's going to knock on your door that needs your help again. Like that's what always
Yes.
happens. Like you never know. That's what I always look for. How can I be a service? How can I help? It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. So I know somebody will knock on my door, and I just know it's happened so many times where I'm able to be a service. You know, I look back at this woman who died a few years back, Lorna McMurray's 27 years old. Um, I like I never met her, but her family basically knocked on my door, and we changed a lot of things in the state around workers and cannabis cultivation sites and all this other stuff. And it's because of Lorna. And it was one of the reasons why I kept going on YouTube. I was just about to quit. Like, you know, so I know those ups and downs. I even talked about this. Todd talked about this a little bit, how you have to kind of stay steady on that. You know, it's just as easy to ruin your life when you're way up here, when you're on this crazy high, because that's when a lot of people make the bad decisions. They get too overly optimistic. That's when you spend all the money. That's when you're at the casino, like, hey, I can't lose. Let's put $1 million on red because I'm on a roll. I'm winning all the time in life, you know. So you get too crazy sometimes, and I feel like you just have to try to stay a little bit above average if you can. If you just a little bit elevated. That's really where you want to be. You just want a little elevation, not too much. You know, you don't want your head to get this
Yeah.
big.
And I think unfortunately, nowadays, I think a lot of people allow the liqueur of attention and viewerships and clicks and likes to get to their head. And that's not a good recipe for sustainability. It's not a
Or
good
mental
recipe
health
for growth,
or
you know?
reality. It's not a good.
Yeah,
It's you got to touch. You gotta walk the trails. That's what I always say. Go walk a trail.
I
Go lift
agree.
some weights. Go do some jujitsu or something. Like go
Touch
for a
some
swim.
grass.
Yeah.
Touch, yeah,
Go
I
walk a
totally
dog on the
agree.
trail. Go for a run. Like do something.
I completely agree. I hope that we have another opportunity to get together in person soon. I really enjoyed JFK's event and I loved meeting you outside of the court. I think it was the day before verdict day that I met you, but I've actually been kicking around and I'll at least say it to you and I plan on talking about it with a couple of other creators, but I have something I might want to auction off to
Point.
support maybe one of the funds that you guys do a lot of fundraising. So I have something I might be interested in helping creators to auction off if it can help raise awareness and funds for some of the big causes that are out there. But we can talk offline. But it made me think of that because your intent to really do things the right way and to be one of the good guys out there, it really resonates with me. And that's why I gravitate towards you and Brian LTL, Calling All Beings, and JFK and the gang. You guys are good guys. And that's why I continue to watch. I love being a friend of the channel.
Oh,
One of
thank you
these
so much.
days
I'm
I'll
looking
get a
forward to hearing about
wrench.
that.
One of these days I'll
Oh,
get a
I can give you a
wrench.
wrench. We can give you a wrench. We can give you a
I'm
wrench.
kidding.
You've earned it.
Oh, thank
I
you.
know we gave Steve one. We got to give you
Did
one. I
you?
mean, come on. He just because he went to Bridgewater, he got the preferential treatment. I'm sorry,
Oh, that's okay. I was
but I'm gonna
kidding
give you a
though.
wrench. You've earned it. You're getting a
Ooh,
wrench. Um, not today. Nope. Said see the story about the chief and female officer in the Eagle Tribune. I don't know if that's the old one you're talking about, but I'm kind of
I didn't
surprised
see
that
that.
like I was expecting there was a witness from North Andover Police that was on the defense list. And she had previously sued the police chief. Are you surprised they didn't call her? Did you think that she would have added anything to this, or it
I
didn't
didn't
matter in the
know.
end, right?
It didn't, well, I didn't know much about it, so I always say when I don't know enough about something, I try not to speak on it, but I don't think it would have changed things. This judge in Kelsey's matter said time and time again, I'm not going to be considering that. I'm only looking at this. And he made it very clear in his decision that he was only going to look at the elements of the crime and whether or not they were met, and then the credibility determination. So I don't really know if it would have had any relevance.
Thank you,
But
Ruby. If little Rose says Nan should get the entire toolbox.
ooh,
You know,
I would love that. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, no. I was kidding about a wrench, Mike. I definitely, although, with a wrench comes great responsibility.
so you gotta be careful. Gotta be
I'd have to
careful. You could
wrench a
block.
few
You could
people.
block people by accident, like I do. That's
Yeah, no.
that's. I
It's
make the
it,
mistake. I'm like walking my dogs, watching the show, watching the stream, and then I accidentally block somebody that I like. Oh God.
that's easy enough to undo, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, you can unblock, but you can't untime out. That's a problem. Like if you put someone
Oh.
in a timeout for 24 hours, YouTube doesn't give you the option to untime them out.
Oh. Sometimes
So
here's a little confession. Sometimes I go into people's chats in hostile territory and I talk a little shit and then I get timed out and it's fun. So if you ever see me in hostile ground, I'm usually dropping pearls. But then, poof,
yeah,
I've been timed out and I'm gone. But it is
yeah.
fun.
You know, it's funny because I had some wrenches and some hostile grounds at one point, and I was almost tempted to go in there and start like blocking people and stuff, like not let them know, just like block the mods and shit. I
I would
didn't,
love
but
that.
I could have done some sabotage because they're not too quick. Sometimes these shows forget that you even have a wrench. You know, it's
Oh
some of
yeah.
these some of these YouTubers, they just give out wrenches to everybody.
I have
It's
I have wrenches on some channels where I shouldn't have been given
that you
wrenches.
shouldn't have them. Maybe we should do a sabotage night. We'll just go and harass the crap out of them and block everybody.
It would be fun. It would. Oh man. So
I keep my wrenches tight. We have a tight crew here.
I know you
Except
do.
I gave Joe Biffle one. Biffle, and Biffle
He's
wasn't even here on the big day today. Biffle's been causing trouble lately. I don't know if you've noticed. He said some.
he's a shit
We,
talker.
he got friggin' timed out by our mod, and he's got a wrench. Like that's bad.
Wait, you gave
No,
him a
Sarah
wrench?
timed him out or deleted his comment. I don't know what it was. If she timed him out or deleted his comment, but he made like one of the most inappropriate comments I've ever seen. Like I'm used to him trolling. I like his trolling, but even I was like, "Oh my God, Biffle, what are we gonna do with you, bro? You can't say that."
I think
And Sarah's like, "I
sometimes
already deleted it," and Sarah was really mad. Like Sarah doesn't get mad about anything. She's so cool and nice, and she was mad at Biffle. And like even some of the people in the chat were like, "Get rid of Biffle."
I think
Yeah, see,
sometimes
Sarah's still mad. She was pissed about it for 2 days.
I think sometimes you gotta just like I said earlier, you have to allow the people with differing opinions to come together if they're being respectful and raise them. It's the people who, I mean, like I said, I go into some chats and I talk a little shit and I'm not afraid to say it, but I know that's going to get me timed out or blocked. But I'm happy to welcome insight from people who disagree. And I'm not afraid to say I've gone into anti-free Karen Reed type of chats and channels and listen to them. I Many of them I enjoy respectful conversations if they're respectful. I can disagree with someone whether John O'Keefe was hit by a vehicle or whether Karen Reed did it or not, or her own guilt or innocence. Um, and if it's a respectful ground for me to listen to differing opinions, I'm happy to do that. But honestly, I, no one's going to change my mind, and no one's going to change the jury's mind as to Karen Reed's matter whatsoever. But I really like. I enjoy listening to Untwisted Tragedies channel. I think she's excellent and respectful to her chat. That's why I was saying before, I like chats that are respectful, and I want to hear the opinions of other people. Yeah.
That is your account in the chat right now, the Lothario official, right?
It is. Yeah, I just was asking a question to I don't know. I thought I saw some activity, but yeah, that's me. So,
Yes, you know
any
why I asked, right?
no.
You have a wrench now.
I have a wrench.
You
Oh
have a
my
wrench
God.
in the Young Jerks.
Let,
You are.
let it be announced on Twitter. I have achieved yet another one of my selfish goals.
There
I
you
have
go.
yet again conquered yet
You got to the
another
top. You got a
content
wrench for the
creator
jerks. This is so important.
in my selfish ploy for attention and everything's about me. I paid for that wrench. I'm
I love
kidding.
it.
I'm
No, you're not.
kidding.
We're,
I'm getting
we
a
are
little
not kidding.
salty.
We are having fun with these people. Let's get them.
Oh,
Let's
I
get them all
do.
going. Let's hit them with a stick. Poke them. Poke them with a stick.
I do. I have a wrench, guys. Everybody, look, I've arrived.
You've arrived. This was like, next when you got your law degree, when you passed the bar, that was nothing compared to getting a wrench with the young.
No. In fact, I think back to the day I was sworn in, and I say to myself, this is a great moment. I have now gone through law school. I've passed a bar exam. I'm really, the world is my oyster, but my future will not be
What's
set.
the date today? March 26th is a day that Nan will never forget.
I I have officially
You arrived.
achieved. I have. And now I'm glitching, but maybe now that I've achieved wrench status, I
Now,
will.
they're also saying your hair looks very lovely, and I will concur.
Oh,
Your hair
thank you
looks
so
very good
much.
tonight, on point. I'm sure they're
Thank
gonna make
you.
fun of you on that too, because they get
Oh
jealous of
yeah.
you looking good.
It's a wig apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, that's a new one. I had a wig too. I had a toupee. If you haven't, I don't know. They told me I
you
had a
have a
toupee. I don't
toupee.
like.
I heard Brian has plugs.
Yeah,
What have I heard about JFK? I mean,
I'm a guy
everybody.
who won't even shave, and I'm gonna go do a toupee. I mean, this is the thing. How well they don't know me. Like,
I know. And honestly, if people saw how long I spend doing, I have curly hair, okay? How long it takes me to not have curly hair, you would know it's not a wig.
there you
But
go.
and sometimes that's why I wear hats a lot. I get made fun of for my hats
Yeah.
because I don't want to straighten my hair fully. But
There you go.
anyway,
And that's the
thank
thing.
you.
I don't have to comb my hair. I put on the hat.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, 'cause
So
sometimes
any
I comb my hair and I got the hair sticking up, and they're like, "Mike, you got hair sticking up." It's like, oh
Ooh, I have
Jesus
a great
Christ!
product for that. If anyone gets
I really have a toupee,
flyaways.
guys. Like, I can't even keep track of combing my hair.
Yeah, and you wear
Uh,
dirty pants. Oh
yeah,
man.
I do. I had dirty pants on. I was working. I'm a working man. How dare you work for a living?
I'm biting my tongue, okay, because there's some things that I could
Yeah,
say.
we won't go there. We don't need to go low. We
See,
just
but
laugh at how
this
ridiculous they are.
we can laugh. And you know
We can
what,
laugh.
folks? It's okay to, just loosely talk about it along the outskirts and just to plug
Yeah,
forward.
have a little laugh. People know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So, but I will announce if anyone does get flyaways, there's a product called Flash Moment, and it looks like a little tube of clear mascara, and they sell it on Amazon, and it is the best for flyaways.
I'll
So,
take a look.
and I'm not
Sometimes
paid
I
by
get
that
I
company.
get the flyaways. It's true.
Yeah, Flash Moment, Amazon. You'll
When I
thank
was a
me
kid,
later.
when I was in second grade, right? My mom she was one of these moms where you'd take your shower the night before and
Oh
you'd wake
yeah,
up in the morning, you wouldn't shower in the morning, she'd just get dressed, go to school. And I'd go to school and I'd have like, I'd try to comb my hair,
bedhead.
brush my hair, whatever. Bedhead. and they'd be like, egg beater hair. Like the kids would make fun of my hair because it was like, I remember
My
I went
God.
to like the school dance or something, and it was all like slicked back and combed and nice, and the girl's like, you have nice hair when it's combed.
For me, I can't. Like, I know there's women out there that, yes, the product is called Flash Moment, by the way. But anyway, there's women out there who just kind of can shower at night and wake up looking beautiful and hit the day running. Not me. Not me. Lots of work. Plus, I run every morning,
There
so
you go. You're working out.
yeah.
We always see you looking good. Like Super
Thank
Squirrel
you.
said, Nan always looks good.
Thanks, Super
But it's
Squirrel.
not easy, is what you're telling us. You put some work into it.
Well, and I got a few years on the chassis now. I'm now in the next decade of my life, so I'm catching up to you.
You're almost up there. You're almost up to me.
Yeah.
We get a
S-
question here. How long have you been an attorney?
that's a great question. I was admitted to the bar in 2001. So I'm in my 25th year practicing. Yeah.
Wow,
And I
that's a long
passed the
time. That's
bar
a lifetime.
on the first time. I passed on the
No
first
way.
time. Yeah. So for
A
anyone
lot of
who's
people
gonna
don't.
dig up my records. No, and by the way, I found law school really difficult. So when I was interested to hear that Kelsey Fitzsimmons took 3 semesters of law school because after 2 semesters, actually might have been the end of the first one. I think it was, yeah, I was into my second semester of law school and I thought about dropping out. And I had gone from being at the top of my high school class, the top of my college class. And then when I went to law school, I was like, whoa, this is challenging. And I had always, since I was young, wanted to be a lawyer or a bus driver. But once I decided I was going to be a lawyer, and I went to law school, it was a rude awakening, very, very challenging. It's where I learned how to think critically and analytically and logically for the first time. I was very book smart going into law school. Hit law school, they teach you how to think logically. I gave a lot of thought to bowing out. And I'm glad I didn't because it's been a very rewarding professionally and emotionally for me, a career in the legal arts. But I will say though, a lot of people use law degrees for other purposes. It's like a really good master's degree. You don't have to become a lawyer. You could become
Good
a lot of
logic is
different things with it.
yeah. I'd say
Yep.
one of the best course I took at Bridgewater State College. I kind of changed my mindset on a lot of things. Made me realize it sped up my learning or maturity maybe a lot quicker about the world. Was like this just logic 101 course. It was
Oh
life
yeah.
changing, and that course was so life changing that a dude in our class sitting behind me, basically the last couple classes he couldn't handle it. He got so upset because the professor in logic fucked with his mind
Mm-hmm.
because he had this mindset that he wouldn't allow to be challenged by logic, and he literally got drunk the last couple classes, and then on the last day he smashed out the door, smashed out the window. Like the cops came, we were witnesses. Like it was crazy. Like he like
That's what
literally
happens.
trashed the classroom because he couldn't handle logic 101. And I'm sitting there like, this class has changed my life. Like
Oh yeah.
I came in, I was pro death penalty. Now I'm anti death penalty. Like because when you actually have to go through the logical exercise, you realize like it's amazing. Like I think every American, like I always say, like home ec and on home ec, um, how to manage your money, logic and reasoning, critical thinking, like that. Those are the courses that we desperately need, and we don't get them,
Yes.
unfortunately.
My kids are now 12 and 10, and they're learning in school. There's a class called financial literacy, which I think is fantastic. I wish I learned
Too.
that back in the day. That and home ec. I loved home ec. That's where I started to develop my love of cooking, which I don't know if you know that about me, but I love to cook
Me too.
whenever I
Yeah.
can. As I said before, I don't know if I said it, but I'm not the best baker. I'm trying to get better at baking, which is difficult, but cooking, forget it. I love that. So home ec was the start of that. And financial literacy, I think, is great for children to learn, and logic, which I never had until I had no exposure to it until law school. And that was a tough lesson learned. And for anyone who has family in law school or is in law school, I will tell you, um, law school and the bar exam, it's all about logic. So if you're not necessarily a logical person by nature, it could be a challenge for you. So it's just stuff to think about. I'm happy I pushed through, but law school was really hard for me. It was. I don't have fond memories of it.
It's not surprising that you were like the top of your class in high school. You were an overachiever. I'm not surprised by that.
I probably am. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I can announce it today. I was named New Jersey super lawyer. So only five
Oh,
today.
wow.
Today is the day it can be announced. It's an award given to only 5% of the attorneys in each state, and I was named one in New Jersey.
Wow, congratulations. Let's hear for Nan Laferio. She is
Thank
now, we can
you.
call her a super lawyer now. I love that.
You could.
This is unbelievable. Nan Gallagher, Laferio, super lawyer is here
Ooh,
tonight. I love that.
I
We're gonna
should
have to get you a new shirt. Like, because there's some
you
people
could.
that pretend they're Superman with the Superman shirt. We should
Yeah,
get an SL shirt for you, like a real super lawyer or super Nan
we
shirt because you've
should.
actually earned it. It's not like self-appointed. It's not like a movie thing. It's not like trying to be snarky. You
And
are
it's
actually the super lawyer.
I mean, there
Wow.
are others in my state who received it, but it's 5%, and it's not a popularity contest, and it's based on peer reviews and judicial approval and all of that. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I've earned that award consistently each year since 2016 or 2017. One of those years, and I'm really proud of it. So thank you.
Wow, top 5%. Anytime you're in the top 5%, that's amazing. Like
Thank
that's not
you.
top 95%. You're basically beating 95% of the other lawyers. That's quite an accomplishment. And someone
Thank
else
you.
asked, what kind of law do you do? I know, but maybe you want to
Yeah.
tell people again?
A lot of people misunderstand what I do. That's a good question. So I practice in a specialized field called healthcare law. But what I call healthcare law is everything. It's just most of my clients are physicians. So I do criminal defense, I do civil litigation, and I do administrative representation. That means I appear on behalf of clients who have criminal charges raised against them, ranging from felonies, misdemeanors, white collar crimes, and other more insidious crimes that have been filed against them, or civil litigation for plaintiffs and defendants, including civil rights actions, employment actions, all that stuff. And then I also do administrative hearings. So I appear before all different administrative bodies, whether they're the state licensing boards for doctors. I've appeared before administrative uh, tribunals for police. I used to do quite a bit of police work when I first started my practice. So I do a little bit of everything. I just all house it under the kind of umbrella of healthcare law. And I own a law
Which is a
firm
big,
in New
yeah.
Jersey and New York.
Which is a big niche. Like, because I used to work in when I was a financial advisor, kind of in the healthcare niche, with the 403B plans, and
Yeah,
there's a lot of money in healthcare. Like,
there
there's a
is.
lot of money.
But it's like, a lot of people think, oh, don't you just do medical malpractice? No,
No,
no. That's why when people started to shit on me early on, I was like, pardon my French, Mike, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
no, they
I
don't.
know a lot about this stuff, and just because I'm a healthcare lawyer doesn't, I think people think I sit at my desk all day and look at explanations of benefits No, just it means my clients are doctors. I file multi-million dollar lawsuits like they're going out of style. I defend doctors who've been brought up on pretty damn serious criminal charges. I appear to on their behalf to help keep their licenses. I do disciplinary hearings at hospitals and other medical facilities. So, like, I dare say, and I'm going to pat myself on the back, I'm pretty uniquely qualified to comment on a lot of the bullshit that's been going on in your fine Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
You sure are. And I'm so thankful for you that we have you as a resource, and
Thank
you're so
you.
willing to give your time, and you're so nice. It's just I'm very
Thank
thankful for
you.
you, and I know our audience is today. Like I said, the numbers keep going up. Remember when they only said we had 25 people in the chat? I don't know, there's a lot more tonight. Every time Nan comes on, the numbers go up some more.
That
Oh,
means
I
I'll
think
get trolled
yeah,
tomorrow
they're
on
gonna get
X.
mad. They're gonna get mad on X. Oh well. Oh well, trolls.
Well, thank you for having me, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna go walk my dog now before
Yes,
it gets to be my
it's time.
bedtime.
It's time. Anything, any last word you want to say before you leave? Anything that we didn't get to say tonight?
I have just some announcements that are coming in the near future. And everyone should stay tuned for that. If anyone has any interest in listening to my snark, you can send me a follow request on X. I protect my posts and I'll vet you. But my handle is Lawfurio, and I'm not afraid to call it like I see it and to hold people accountable who treat others like shit. So I look forward to continuing my relationship with the Young Jerks and other channels I've mentioned this evening. And hopefully there'll be some more exciting announcements in the near future.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe you can tell me later. Oh, I want to know now.
I know you do. Well, you're lucky I consider you a friend, so I'll let you know.
Let me know by text. I want to know now. Now I'm like, what's going on?
I will. I will.
Awesome. And I'll
But
be looking for
goodbye
you on
to your
Tuesday
beautiful
night on,
chat.
yeah, bye. Have a good night. Say hi to your dog. Enjoy the
I
dog
will.
walk. And I'll be looking for you on LTL on Tuesday night as well.
Thank you so much, guys. Good night.
Thank you, Attorney Nan Gallagher. She always brings the heat. People love her. I mean, yeah, look at the numbers. The numbers move up when Nan's here. And she delivers the good content. Like, she has good input. And it's backed by experience. She's smart. And like people have been saying today, she's beautiful. We are blessed to have Nan Gallagher on this show. Makes me smile. And she is a good person. And she will stand up. She's strong too. Like that's the other thing. She is fierce. She is not afraid of these idiots out there. It's just we are lucky to have Nan. Let's hear for Nan in the chat tonight. Please give it up for Nan. That was a good show. Yeah, she doesn't gaslight the entire audience either. Thanks for the gifted memberships tonight. Yes, thank you for everyone who's been super chatting today, all day, all week. Yeah, Todd McGee, even retired Mass State Police Todd McGee popped in, and LTL Media. That says a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot right there. The two people who've been around her the most, they're right here supporting Nan tonight. I've been around Nan a lot too on these shows, and I like Nan. Nan is like comes through. She's a good friend. A lot of these other jokers, man, they don't understand what friendship is. Apparently, what real friendship is. Oh, LTL. He said Mike sent me a very encouraging text this week, and I thank him for that. It was a quick text. It was a quick text, but I'm glad that you felt that way because it was kind of my intent. Because you are the dude. You do great work, and you encourage me too. I gotta say, you're also a good friend. I'm ride or die with LTL Media and DJ and JFK. Those are my dudes. I think everybody knows that at this and Nan. Um, and number one is my girl Carmelita, which I gotta go see. I gotta go see Carmelita. She's put up with a lot this week. Tomorrow, I hope it's sunny out. I want to do something with Carmelita. And Boston beer, yeah, we love Boston beer, of course. Um, yeah, Boston brandy. I know we have a lot of good people. Um, what was I gonna say? You know what I want to do? I want to replay the Kelsey Fitzsimmons press conference. We heard it earlier today with Jay Brill, but there was some better. Can we get this up? There was some much better audio with NBC Boston at close up. I just kind of want to watch it.
This is not only the right result, it's a righteous result today. It's been a long odyssey for those of you who followed this, and we started off in this case, understanding, as we all do, and as the judge said, policing is a tough job. Being a mom is a tough job. And on June 30th, Kelsey had to do both. She's trying to be a mom. She's trying to get back to work. And then her world fell apart. And unfortunately on that day, as she said to the judge, and you heard in court, she had to deal with all that. And unfortunately, what happened in that bedroom started a chain of events with a narrative that they never diverged from. They never asked her about it. They rushed to judgment. And that case took on a life of its own, which unfortunately interfered with her life for an unnecessary and difficult time. I think Tim and I have known from the beginning that that wasn't fair, that the charges probably weren't fair, and that we were going to deal with the system, and we were going to take this to trial, and as Kelsey has said, without fail, she just wanted the truth to come out. She was able to do that when she testified in this case, and again, we're grateful for the judge's work. We're happy with this decision, and it's the right decision, as we said. She was always innocent until proven guilty. The Commonwealth did not meet their burden of proof, and she is innocent today.
Kelsey, what was it like to hear that word, not guilty? To hear the judge say not guilty this afternoon? You sat there, you were on the stand yesterday telling your story. Share with us what that was like.
So, I got shot. I went to jail for 103 days. I haven't seen my son. I had to sell my home that I worked very hard for. So this is my first breath of fresh air, and I feel like I can breathe again. However, my fight is not over. I have a son that I need to reunite with, and that's where we are right now.
Can you talk to us about Keaton, what's next for you, and how this verdict might help you reconnect with him?
I won't get into that, but I will say I am really excited to see my son again.
Do you have any plans to hire a personal injury attorney or have a personal injury attorney representing you?
I will also not get into that, but
Yeah, today we're celebrating this verdict.
yeah,
and that's
I'm
what we're
focusing on
focused
today.
one day at a time.
And I also would just like to thank everybody who stood outside each and every day, supported me, believed me before I got to tell my story, because it wasn't 9 months later until I got to tell the truth. And that was a long 9 months. And through those 9 months, you guys knew the truth. You guys believed in me, and thank you for that.
Kelsey, what's the message? Kelsey, what's the message to others that are in a position like yours after what happened today with the not guilty verdict? What would you tell other people?
Don't stop fighting for what's right, and when you know you didn't do something wrong, keep fighting for that.
Kelsey, do you want to be a police officer again?
I won't comment on that either.
Sounds very similar to what Afro Man said the other day, right? Didn't do anything wrong. Speak up, fight back.
I don't know what my career goals are at the moment.
What have the last 9 months been like for you as a person, as a mother, as a defendant?
There's not a word. If you want an image of it, picture me on a mat in a jail cell crying for my son day after day after day after day. There's not a word for that, but that is what happened to me.
Kelsey, do you feel like you're owed something now, considering that you've been found not guilty? All of this stuff has happened to you.
I'm gonna leave that one to you.
Leave that one to the lawyers, sir.
Hey, Kelsey, the judge was not exactly speedy in getting to the ultimate decision. How painful was that to sit there and just wait for what was going to happen?
I mean, it's okay. He had to go through all the evidence, and there was a lot. So
We thought he was pretty quick, actually.
yeah.
And we, obviously, with a good judge, didn't have the issue with
That's pretty quick. Martha's right. That was pretty quick, actually, considering.
the jury. He told us when he was going to decide. We knew he was going to write his decision, which was helpful, and he told that in public. So we had this hybrid trial with the judge who was both the judge and the jury, and he was forthcoming throughout the trial, transparent, and told us he was going to tell us why the decision, which of course we would not have gotten with the jury verdict. So it's helpful to have that as well.
Martha, you talked about how this is a just verdict, in your opinion. Were you surprised these charges were brought in the first place, and why do you think they were?
So I'm just going to repeat what I said earlier to that question. A set of things got set into a motion on June 30th that then followed a narrative starting that night in that room that never really got challenged, that never really got investigated with any investigation of her, that never got tested in any way, but the presumption was that she was a defendant in this case. And so that's unfortunate because she couldn't talk for a while. She's being held for a while. She never got a chance really to tell her story. Ordinarily the system shouldn't work that way, but both Attorney Bradel and I have been on both sides of the system. We know how it works, and sometimes when it doesn't work well and it works slowly, that's unfortunately what happened in this case. And we fought every way with Kelsey to make sure that justice was done. It took longer than it should have, we think. It was more painful than it should have been, but look, we got the right result today, and we are happy with that.
Kelsey, what's the next thing you want to do now that you're not guilty?
Guys, hold on. Let's give these guys over here a
Starting
chance.
today,
Go ahead.
all of your bail restrictions are lifted, and you said you can breathe again, but there's a lot of changes that are going to take place today. You have a lot more freedom than you had. How do you plan to start that journey of freedom?
I want to go for a walk with my dog.
My dog. God bless you. I hope you enjoy all those walks. I hope it's sunny the rest of the weekend too for you.
I can't wait to take him for a run. I haven't been able to do that.
Oh.
That's our thing, is going for a run.
Oh, that poor buddy. He must be. Oh, he's gonna be excited.
So
And don't forget, she couldn't do that.
Right.
She had to sit in her house. That was her best case scenario, that she was a prisoner in her own home. And then her worst case scenario at the outset of this case, and like Martha said, this was such a bumpy road, a long bumpy road that never should have happened. And, you know, she had to spend time in prison. As a former police officer and corrections officer, she gets sent to jail, someone with no criminal record. Someone who shows up to court, has a wonderful history in this county, and sent to jail. To me, it's unprecedented. It terrorized her, and it's a horrendous, awful thing that happened. This case started out as a circus, and we are so grateful to end up in Lawrence in front of Judge Karp, who, like I said, is an absolute gentleman, a consummate jurist, and he treated everyone in that room with respect, with humanity, with kindness, and we were very appreciative for it.
Do you have a message to your former colleague?
no.
What do you make of the judge saying he credited both Kelsey's testimony and the testimony of Officer Noonan? He called it confusing.
Well, Charlie, you know, he's the fact finder. He's got to make the sausage in the back room. You know, he's got to think about everything, and you know, it's a tough job for any fact.
I love how Bradel knows all the reporters' names. Like that goes a long way. He's really good at that. He knows Charlie. We all know Charlie. Charlie's great, but he knows every single reporter's name basically at this point. He's really good at this.
In any case, really. But I mean, you know, Kelsey has said to you guys every time we're out here, I can't wait to get to the truth. I can't wait for the truth to come out. And finally, she got her chance. and she told the truth, and she put herself out there. The one person in the whole room that didn't have to testify. She's the one that got up there, put herself out there, and told the truth. And
That's it. She won her own freedom too. That's the thing. Nobody can take credit for this. I don't care if anyone tries to take credit for this. I'm not taking credit for it. She won her own freedom by getting up there and testifying. And with her family support, with her mom and her dad and her stepdad there the entire friggin' time. There wasn't one time they weren't there. They were there every single time. What a good family she has behind her.
And the judge, I think, treated her wonderfully and was very humane and kind and listened attentively to not only her but to everybody in the case. And we're grateful for that.
And I'll just add two things to that. First of all, people can believe they're telling the truth when they're mistaken, so they can appear to be credible but be wrong.
Did you know I protested Martha Coakley at one point? I love Martha Coakley. It's funny. I have a thing for Martha Coakley. I love her. I do. I love when she's like, she is so good at this too. I once protested her about cannabis when she was the Attorney General. I don't know if people remember that. Occupy the AG's office.
And when a defendant like this is credible, I think as Tim said in his opening and his closing, that creates reasonable doubt. And so that's the standard. The Commonwealth always has the burden beyond a reasonable doubt. We didn't know the one thing we weren't going to get was a hung jury here. So,
Josie, do you have a question? You okay?
I'm sure you bring it, but it's okay. How are you feeling, Kelsey?
I feel good. I feel relieved. I was eager to do this, and I said from day one, the truth will come out, and it did.
Anybody
Maybe
else?
if this is doubling up, but you testified that 2 weeks is an eternity for any mom. The judge seems, and even the prosecutor seems to connect with that. 9 months.
There's not a word. There's not a word. It's the most devastating thing that you can do to a new mom. And hopefully changes will be made where a new mom or anyone will never have to go through something like this.
We've talked about that, and we're going to talk about that with legislators. What kind of a system is it that somebody can walk into court, fill out a piece of paper, and in 15 minutes, take someone's baby away, take a mom of a newborn's baby away? It's just an incredible thing, and it shouldn't happen. And we're going to work on some reforms of that statute.
Tim, how much impact do you think it had that the complainant had connections, friends within the law enforcement community? So maybe you can't be just anybody coming into
Michael.
To be determined, Michael. To be determined. We have some other investigations to work on, and we're going to leave no stone unturned, and we're going to find out exactly how and why this happened, who's responsible, and we're not stopping here. The things that happened to Kelsey, we have, with respect to her home being broken into, we've reported that to the FBI, and I've had it with Essex County, and there are other avenues to pursue.
Steve's like, yeah. Look at the dad. He's like, yep.
And we're pursuing them. And we're in touch with the FBI on all sorts of federal crimes that were committed, and we're in the process of dealing with it there. That's one example of other avenues that we're taking here. We're not sitting here at Essex County's beck and call. We know where to go, and we know who to talk to, and we are doing that. Anybody else?
oh, great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like how she thanked everyone too. Wow. What a day. I wish I could have been there, but hey, you only can do so much. I was streaming all day. Had the dogs to walk. I want to thank Monmar. Became a new member, gifted some memberships. I want to thank Root Beer Float. Got a lot of new people today commenting, subscribing, becoming members. I want to thank all of you for the super chats. I want to thank my mod team, Sarah. Thank you so much, everybody who's been here. I don't know. I might take a break now. We'll see. I might take a day or two off. We'll see. You know me. Sometimes I'd say I'm going to take a day or two off, and then I just go right back into it. We'll see what happens. I have some. A couple things I need to follow up on. Actually, a couple guests. We'll see. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go check out JFK and see if that's still going on. Text messages right now. Hold on. I just got a message about dogs. Somebody wants me to walk their dogs again. Oh God, I don't want to do it. More business. Oh, I just heard from Gator Boy. Gator Boy, congratulations to Gator Boy too. Gator Boy did a lot for this, and Megan and the entire team that supported Kelsey on that Facebook group. The ones that were here at the very beginning of it, congratulations. You stood strong. You helped your friend. No, it's not Howie. It's someone asked me to walk their dogs. All right. I'll see you soon, everybody. You know what? I'll be on Grace Curley show tomorrow, I think at 1:05 p.m. 40 radio stations. Be talking about Kelsey Fitzsimmons tomorrow. So I do have one more little gig to do this week, tomorrow. Grace Curley show. Back on the radio tomorrow. I'll see you all over there, hopefully. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for backing me up. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for everything. I'm going to be a guest. I'll be a guest tomorrow. I'm not hosting. I'm going to be a guest. All right. I'll see you all. I'll see you over at Grace Curley tomorrow on the radio, WRKO, and like 40 other stations all over New England. Check it out tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And hopefully we'll all see each other over at the JFK chat if that's still going on. All right, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, everybody.